We are about 20 seconds away here from February inflation data. CPI set to come through here at the bottom of the hour. We'll bring that to you live as it comes. That's the forecast, 0.3%. Expected 0.4, if you remember, was the prior on the month-over-month number. 3.3 is the expected core inflation year over year. Number 3%, the headline expected. 2.8%, so much lower than expected there. Hasn't populated here. 2.8% on the headline number, 3.1% in line for core February year-over-year inflation. There it is, 3.1, 2.8 on the headline number. So that is going to help things significantly here. 0.2 on the month-over-month number expected was 0.3 to the upside. So better than expected there. Yeah, nice move here for the NASDAQ, now 2%. Better part of 2% to the upside after starting the day in positive territory, relatively flat considering, yeah, what a trend that is back to the downside for the overall market. Doesn't look like much if you zoom out, but we'll take 2% here at this point.
Any day, especially the last little bit. So well said there, Brendo. Yeah, the street was looking for 2.9% on the headline, 3.2 on core. As you mentioned there, a decided beat there. Morgan Stanley was citing continued inflationary pressures. They were saying higher used car prices because of the fires and seasonal factors impacting goods and services supply constraints. So they were actually forecasting a higher print. Wrong, were they?
Yeah, just hearing as well, the overall inflation rate too. Yeah, 0.2%, so a little bit lower than expected on the month-over-month headline number. Core, again, exactly the same here. You can see 0.2 on the month-over-month number. This was expected to be 0.3%. So we are coming back in a little bit, but let's take what we were given at this point, guys, to start things off here. Good morning.
Yeah, man, what do you mean? We're taking all of this, man. That was great. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about. We talked about that yesterday. Hey, what's up, Obi?
What's going on?
Not too much. We talked about that yesterday, that, you know, what if this comes hotter? We are absolutely dead, because then now we're going to have to talk about the Fed being back in play again. But this is great. So this means that hopefully now we get a little bit of a lower print there on inflation. It's going to help, hopefully, with the mentality of the consumer, hoping. And then we'll wait for next week to see what the Fed has to say. But yeah, this is good. This is good news. Hopefully it can continue the rate cut cycle, or at least keep that talk alive one more time. Here's the TQs up 5%. The NASDAQ's up 1.6%. Look, I don't think it's all roses. I mean, I think that we have tariff talks still to deal with throughout the whole day, and we know that Trump will be on the mic. He'll probably take credit for this somehow. But as it continues to go upside, that's a nice move. But let's not just sort of forget where we're coming from here on the NASDAQ. You just showed me a chart of the VIX as well, Obi. Oh, yeah. We still have a lot to come through, right? I mean, it would be real nice to get back up into these levels, but where we just were at the beginning of the week is $67, $68, if not higher than that. So this is the NASDAQ right here. Still a pretty good trend, and we have to zoom all the way in over to here just to see that little bump that we just had. So look, it's a great start here today. I like that number coming in at 2.8 versus 2.9 versus 3. Year over year, 3.1 versus 3.2. We like that. So yeah, moving to the upside. NVIDIA is my number one idea on here. Unfortunately, it is way off now. I was looking at this 109, 110 area before the number, but now we start to take off. NVIDIA up 4%. Did you miss the boat? Did you get some shares down there? I didn't. We've been buying some indexes, which are barely back into the money right now. But there goes NVIDIA. I was talking to Sharif about buying some names recently. The only name I bought was JP Morgan, and that's just been going downside. So Palantir, also another name. So I've written down 2 names only on here so far. I wanted to wait for the number. It was Palantir, it was NVIDIA. Both these names were popping huge in the pre-market, and now they continue to pop forward again, Obi. So yeah, we're going to have to reassess some of the ideas on here, because it's really getting high up. Tesla's going now as well. We saw this man rolling around in his red Model S yesterday. Yes. There it goes. Huge move up, 240, 245. Again, you know, drop in the bucket from where we've been. That's for sure, but it's a nice start. And this is what the market is, right? It's hard to time these things, Obi. Like, you know, I said yesterday at 2 o'clock, we were going long the futures. Yes. I said people are going to want to position themselves long ahead of this number. So here it comes, man. It's a huge move to the upside. Can it be sustained, or can it be continued forward and sustained? I don't know. But if clementines have anything to do with it, then this market, I think, can continue to go higher because I like clementines. How you doing, Randy?
How's it going?
Hey, what you got in there, man?
I got some tea.
Some tea?
Yeah, from the second cup. I was telling these guys, the guy at the second cup, he pretty much recognizes me now. I always go in and get a butter tart in the morning.
Oh.
But this week, I guess, no, they didn't have any, they didn't have the shipment come in or whatever. So he's been giving me like free, like cookies. He gave me
free?
Yeah, for free. When I got like I think a chocolate chip muffin or something. I was like, all right, let's go. You know?
Look at the hookups you got over there.
Like,
Those things are expensive from Second Cup, man.
yeah, I mean, it's
So
like,
what, you actually pay for tea? Water plus, what kind of tea is that?
it's just a green tea. Yeah.
We have green tea here.
No, I know.
Okay.
That's when I like chill out, you know, just relax.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, man, we pay for coffee and we have a coffee machine here, so.
It was like $2. It's fine.
I would love to get another coffee there. Did you have one of those sausage and egg things? They weren't too bad. I've been biting on it. Okay. All right. So look, man, I have no idea what's going on this morning, but it was a nice move there. You can never, I mean, at the end of the day, we can never predict what these economic numbers are going to come out, right? So I think yesterday we were just going long. The market was long and then it didn't, right? I mean, yesterday afternoon, just to talk about, you know, what the market actually did, you know, we did have a nice move up and then we faded out, right? Even a stock like NVIDIA. So I was telling this to you yesterday, even, you know, we were long and then all of a sudden the shorts all afternoon printed it even better than the longs. So it's not like we talked about, you know, getting this move higher today because we can't predict it. But there was the move and then there was the pullback. So the market actually didn't really price in this move at all. So there still is another big opportunity to get long here. Thankfully, it came a little bit better than expected and not hotter, right? So that's what I was looking at. NVIDIA and Palantir early. Have to adjust some of the price targets. What are you looking at?
Yeah, no, I took a dabble in the TQs there, got a little long above that 62 mark. It's still holding. I got stopped out. I kept it pretty tight below the 62, but it seems like we're holding well. And yeah, much lower than expected CPI. Let's see if the bid can continue off of the open. Again, I'm going to ask the same question I have been over the past couple of days, and I'm going to try to do a little bit better to be you know, a little bit more focused on maybe the price action, because I'm like, okay, all right, well, sellers have been stepping in for the past few weeks. Good, I guess, a strong CPI result with a strong bid coming in. The question becomes, are there going to be sellers that step into this as well, right? It's like, all right, we got a little bit of a pop. And I think I showed you the VIX as well.
Yep.
JPM alert. Hey, let's check that out real quick. What's going on here with JPM? Okay, so it's pushing into that week low, right? Yeah. Remember, I was like, oh, in the beginning of the week, things were doing some interesting volume, and I just put an alert at that opening range low of that volume. So we kind of pinged that right there. But yeah, I want to go to the VIX and take a look at a higher time frame right here on the VIX. So we got a bit of a trend on the volatility there. So this little pop brings us right into the bottom of that trend. So that's kind of what I'll be watching. Look at how beautifully that's holding, Sean. That is a beautiful trend. So let's see. Do sellers step back in if volatility is going to hold this trend? That's the question I'm asking myself right now, because this has held for multiple. So this has held since February 27th. So majority of the month so far. About a couple of weeks right there. So kind of in line with the selling that we've been seeing, obviously. But let's see if it has any sort of sustained
I was going to say it's not, yes, and that's perfect word, sustained, because I'm not sure, I don't want to go long on any of these kind of gap ups right now. I mean, I think we still have obviously an hour until the money comes in here. I think we'll just play off of this. We've seen, we had that good jobs number. We saw that bump up and then it faded right back into those levels again. And I remember, I think it was like 945, but I was like, look, it's right back to where we were. So this could easily come back in, man. Smart money might be selling this pop as we speak, right? So we'll get involved with that. We got to go back over the desk, but I just want to show the imbalances real quick just to see if there's any effect on this. Big Bear AI, of course. Let's get this name go. Whoa, okay, that's not bad actually. I was just laughing at it because it was only 150,000 shares, but not too much there. We had TSM news. We'll get over that. The boys on the desk will cover that, I'm sure, very soon, as it's one of the big ideas on our watch list today, the semis. Walmart still having a little bit of pressure on that name, down again today. Not down, but not up as much, only up 0.63 with a little bit of a sell. Again, some of these names, I think, thank you, Randy, for that. Some of the names will be interesting. Reddit's an interesting name. Like wasn't Reddit at 230 or something on earnings? Oh my gosh, how did that 230? That's okay. Don't tell my wife that I can remember some of these prices because I play off the angle that I have a bad memory. So 230 down there to 1. Sharif, I just heard you mentioning Reddit. This move, 230 down to 105? Yeah, you guys talked about this yesterday. Okay, that's crazy. Down to that 200 period. If you like this stock, wow, talk about falling off a cliff, right back into 110. This stock's gotten like a 65% haircut in three weeks now, not even. Okay, Reddit, wow. You might want to Reddit and forget it that you've bought some shares in that, but I don't know. I like Google today too.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, wow, that Reddit dump. I didn't. Did you realize that was that far down? I know we talked about it, but I would not have guessed 110
taken
for Reddit there. It was 230, man. Yeah. I don't know if you have some crazy lines drawn on your charts for that, Obi. I want to thank Obi for being here all week. We have Joe the next 2 days, and then we've got Neil back next week. Those of you asking, I saw someone in the chat asking where Neil is at. He's enjoying March break right now, and apparently great sunny weather down there in Florida. Hasn't sent any pictures or anything yet, but hopefully we'll be able to. I'll ask him, maybe he can send one. But we've heard from some of our friends in the chat that Florida is gorgeous right now, and he's in Dunedin watching the Blue Jays. Apparently the Blue Jays and Vladimir Guerrero are like $3 million off per year. I know that yay sports for you, but he's going to get paid $35 to $40 million a year. So we should be able to close that gap. Over a 15-year period, I mean, come on, man, backload some of that money. Get Vladimir Guerrero staying here. I don't think he deserves the money, but we need to keep somebody around. So, okay, let's go back over the desk. Interesting number there, guys, but it's pulling back quite nice. We've almost pulled back half the move already.
Yes.
Yeah, trying to hold here for the NASDAQ overall, but as you said, 50% or more to the downside. Here's one of the reasons why right now. That is a 15-minute chart of the 10-year. So we get a huge flush on the actual CPI print at 8:30 there, and then it retraces all the way back. 10 years now green on the day. So right back to the upside here for rates. 4.3, 4.32 coming into play. We get down to 4.24. So that's not going to help things as far as the overall market is concerned. If you're just joining a little bit late, we'll do a little recap of these numbers for you. 0.2% on the month-over-month core number. 0.3 was expected there. The year-over-year, 3.1 in line with the expectations there, 3.1%. The headline number, 2.8, slightly better than the 2.9 expected. So that was the initial pop on the market. But as we've seen, we are coming back in. We'll see how individual stocks hold up here this morning. Lots of Tesla's actually not bad. Lots of people talking about Tesla yesterday. Lots of headlines in the news once again, almost on a daily basis for Elon.
It was a car lineup at the White House yesterday, Brendo.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. Exactly what he did. He chose Donald Trump chose the red Model S Plaid. I would have went with the Model X Plaid, but yeah, that was his choice there. He's a sedan guy. Good look. Obviously, he's trying to kind of stimulate positive sentiment for Tesla. Tesla's been under attack, whether, it's vandalism or protests. So it's been a bit of a tough time for Elon Musk, and the $800 billion plus that's been wiped off the market cap certainly hasn't helped. So booing him there. Heard a lot of comments about, favoritism for Tesla yesterday from the White House, but I don't think that was being mentioned when Joe Biden was driving around in that F-150 Lightning. Nobody was talking about favoritism at the time. So I felt, he was just doing a deed.
Yeah, well said. That said, we're not even halfway back, essentially, to where we started the day on Monday. So, 6%, or was 6% a moment ago. That's where we started the week a couple days ago. So, long way to go here still, guys, for Tesla.
I saw that press conference there. Donald Trump doesn't drive anymore. He hasn't driven in years, and he says he'll never drive the Tesla car. I thought it was a great opportunity for him to say, But we got full self-drive, so I don't have to worry about that. I thought that was a great opportunity to do that, but he didn't. Excuse me. No, he was just talking about, he said, oh, you know, all the White House staff can drive this thing around, and if anybody wants to use it, they can use it. So I thought it was just, like Sharif said there, just sort of glorifying the Tesla there and trying to get Elon and that back into good graces. And he sat in there and he said, oh my God, this is all computers. Like, it was kind of just like...
I have to watch this.
Yeah, it was a little tacky, but at the same time, I mean, good for him. And as Sharif said, it's not the first time a president has done something like this. I remember, I think in his first term, I think he rolled out when he was trying to do with USPS there, workhorse.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Brought one of those through there as well, through the White House. So we know that Trump does support at least some of these EV companies, and we know which one would be his preference, I guess, which would be Tesla. Yeah. And again, you know, we talked about this yesterday. Like, people in the chat get excited because we'll talk like this and then they'll be like, oh, look at these guys talking about Trump and Tesla and like, oh, they're so pro this and that. I mean, this is moving 5-6% today. You know, it's something that we have to talk about. It's a very tariff-related name, obviously, as you talk about steel imports and whatnot. And then, you know, where these cars are produced and shipped around the world. And so, and then you have Elon Musk, obviously. Elon Musk on what did I say? On Monday or yesterday, one of those 2 days, combined, lost 16 billion in his own net worth because, again, it's all tied to Tesla stock. So it's been a nasty run for him as well. I mean, just look, cry me a river. I mean, when you're worth 300 billion or whatever he's worth and you lose a little bit of that, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, it's had a nice dip down. Whether or not you believe in the stock or not, there has to be some valuation questions. They're still selling. The Model Y is still the #1 car there. They're a pretty sweet ride. I mean, everybody that owns a Tesla, you rarely get complaints about it, from what I've seen anyways. You know, similar to Apple, right? The customer ratings are high on this. I like the stock, and I think today it's definitely worth this pullback. I was looking at this 236 level for Tesla today, and it's not really rocket science. It was the top, and now you have the 200 period. So, but unfortunately, all of this was thought before this number. So right now, I think you're just gonna have to watch it. You're gonna play back into VWAP 240 or so. Should be a good way to start the trade. I'm a little nervous about buying anything at the top, so there's no way I'm gonna say take this break long. But Tesla's definitely working right now, up 6%. Long ideas, I think, will win today. So we're going to be long, and Tesla could be one of those names. There's really nothing else. I mean, right here on the look, there's lots to trade, but as far as like the biggest names, it's Tesla, it's Nvidia, then it's the Tesla. This is the trade rate from eSignal popping right now. Tesla, Nvidia, the Tesla long ETF down there. It's only $8. Then there's Palantir. Then there's the market. Then there's SMCI and SOXL. So basically, chip names and Tesla right now ruling the NASDAQ as we start to bounce around. Good job there holding the 50 period. That was really nice there on the NASDAQ. So we thought we were falling back in. Looks like we can hold it out. So I like Tesla. With all the negative talk about Tesla, though, I wonder if people that were thinking about buying a Model Y might go over to Rivian. I could see something happening there as well. So I think Rivian might get a little bit of a bounce there as well. And then, oh boy, we're going to get to this in our rundown when we get there. Yep. But SMCI is $44 right now, up 8%. SMCI was up huge yesterday and up huge again right now. SMCI, I mean, if you were able to buy some of those dips right into there off the 50 period, you're pretty happy with that one. So I don't know, Obi, is this going to be a moment where we look back and be like, wow, Tesla was down to 210? Or are we going to look back and say, man, maybe that was a good fade here today?
The thing is, like, we've had that strong run up since earnings in October of 2024, and we've pretty much given back all of that. So I measured it. It took about 55 days to get to the top there, 55 days here. This is a 3-hour chart. And then took about, I guess, another 85, so almost double the time to get back. But we did retrace back 100% of that move there. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of sideways chop from here from before, so a lot of maybe a noise and support and resistance levels maybe potentially coming in here. But, yeah, that trend break came in real hot. The thing is, what I've been mentioning is this sell-off has been, as it gets lower and lower, this volume has been increasing as well. So the question becomes, like, how how convincingly are we going to test and potentially break some of these prior support levels, as we have been kind of just to talk about following the trend here. We've only been making lower lows and lower highs into some of these support levels. So yeah, I think 200 is definitely well within range if we continue to hold this trend, and maybe we might even see some numbers below 200. I think that's well within range of the stair-step squeeze Tesla's been kind of doing over the years. So I think that's something to watch for.
All right, let's go back over the desk and see some of these other stories.
Our friends over at Foremost Clean Energy, FMST, hired this morning with a new announcement, announcing a $6.5 million exploration launch. The company is initiating its comprehensive multi-million-dollar exploration program for 2025, targeting multiple uranium properties in the Athabasca Basin. Portfolio coverage, the program spans Hatchet Lake, Murphy Lake, GR Blackwing, Wolverine, and CLK properties. Check out Foremost Clean Energy. You can check out that QR code on screen right now, FMST, once again. On the NASDAQ, speaking of that, IRBT, I saw a couple people talking about this, downside in a pretty big way. I haven't actually seen the headline on this yet, but a ton of volume still coming in for iRobot once again. Down 35% here this morning on, thanks guys, at the back of earnings. But I just saw a couple of people mentioning that. We've been talking about this Chinese story for the past couple of days as well. There's XPeng again, up and down we go. Back downside again for all of these ADRs this morning.
And this one continued to run though, Brendo, into the regular trading hours yesterday. It wasn't just a pre-market gapper, which we know a lot of these ADRs kind of filled a gap after the bell. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's interesting. There's more news out of China. It's not really XBEV related. It looks as if Walmart wants to pass on some of the new costs that they may incur with tariffs on to some of their Chinese suppliers. That's raised the ire of the Chinese government, who's basically summoned some Walmart executives to discuss that. And they're basically saying, you either stop doing that or the next step will not be discussions. It will be actions. So more news out of China today, not so good. Yesterday, not bad. We'll have to see how the cookie crumbles today.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about these steel stocks as well on the back of what happened yesterday with Canada. If you mentioned, or if you missed it, it was 50%. At one point, they rolled it back to 25% starting today. So some of these steel stocks, STLD I just brought up, there was a spike there, but it comes right back in. New and UE, another one, not really doing a heck of a lot, even X US Steel. It's higher, but I mean, there would be, you would think, a little bit more volume behind.
See the dynamic between Doug Ford and Donald Trump yesterday? Really interesting. So obviously with the whole power thing, Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, where we live, was going to charge 25% on exported energy to Michigan. I think New York and Ohio, was it? Maybe Illinois. In any event, now back and forth discussions kind of took place, and Doug Ford's going to go to Washington later this week to meet Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary. And interesting take there from Donald Trump praising Doug Ford, calling him a strong man. So
but I mean, I actually agree with that in the sense that instead of this back and forth kind of tit for tat approach to dealing with this, he took the approach of let's actually get face to face and come up with a deal that's going to last going forward and just get this over with instead of just back and forth bickering. So, yeah, we'll see what happens today. Never a dull moment. Let's go over to Adara.
Fine with iRobot was it actually had its earnings report, and they're going to be doing a strategic review, which could include a potential sale of the company. You can read more about that on the Trader TV Live watch list. Let's take a look here at these upgrades and downgrades. Upgrades here, Applied Materials up about 2% here with this Edward Jones upgrade. Crocs on watch getting upgraded today by Loop Capital with a $110 price target. HubSpot here getting upgraded by Barclays and NextGen with a Stifle upgrade. The downgrade side of things, Verizon, part of a very strong communication sector as of late, actually getting a downgrade today from Wolfe Research. Zynex with a downgrade from RBC Capital Markets. Jefferies Financial downgrading PepsiCo. PEP certainly on watch. And last but not least, Apple basically flat in the day, but after 2 very rough days, getting a Morgan Stanley downgrade this morning, guys. Back to you.
HubSpot, huh?
Oh boy, yeah. So one of the names that stands out right away, because I was like, oh, Verizon. Verizon got rocked yesterday. I don't remember exactly what the catalyst might have been, but I do remember in the pre-market, it did show up on some of my scans for a bit of a gap down. And yeah, a bit of a downgrade coming in today. So yeah, we're already trading below yesterday's low, which kind of is double bottoming action there. A bit of support tried to hold there in the 42.70s, 42 halves roughly. We're trading below prior day's low right now on Verizon there. And another one, maybe some Crocs as well. Let's see what that one's doing. I haven't really looked at this one since I think the IPO, to be honest. But a little bit of an upgrade on Crocs. It's doing a bit of a gap up. There is some relative volume in the pre-market, but you got to remember that this thing probably does absolutely no volume in the pre-market to begin with. So any sort of volume coming in today would give you that reading of some R-vol. But yeah, gapping up above prior day's high. Not necessarily weekly high just yet, but we did come in and ping some of that right there. You can see that Monday high right there. We're attempting to push that on Crocs. I mean, maybe not necessarily my number one idea, but the market tailwind is definitely there. If you're looking for longs as of right now on that lower than expected CPI. So yeah, I'll be watching that. It took me a couple of tries, Sean, to get long on the TQs there, and I'm like, okay, oh boy, once, twice, thrice,
nice,
quatrice, maybe
after thrice,
4 times,
quattro,
yeah, quattro. It's let's see if this works out. That's the question, right? I'm like, all right, in and around that area, I have a little bit of a maybe potential support resistance in and around 61 halves. I'm like, all right, if we're going to be a hot CPI and pull back, and I'm looking to take that move for the continuation, then maybe that's.
So I've never ever seen you in the TQQs.
You've never seen me in TQs? No. Oh boy. Okay.
And
I take it every now and then. Especially on a CPI day.
Yeah. No, glad to be there because that's what I was talking about, and we talked about it yesterday. That it was nice to get back into the futures, and especially in the pre-market. I think then you don't have to worry too much about liquidity. There's lots of liquidity there.
Oh, there's so much. It's traded 8.5.
Right, exactly. Oh, Arval?
No, 8.5 million shares.
8.5 million shares. Okay, yeah. It might have been 8 times Arval. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably not that high.
No.
Okay, so just real quickly there, Crocs gets an upgrade there on earnings. You can see, I was just looking at this name because, again, pretty volatile, right? Especially as a holding in someone's account. But right now, just like we're only at 104, okay, so we're not up as high as we'd like. No volume, man, only 9,000 shares. But I was just looking at it right from here. If it can get going, and we're only right here at the 50-period moving average. But as you can see, we hit the 50-period moving average, and then obviously that must have been earnings back there in October. There's the dump down, and then we've sort of ridden this thing. We did get a nice bump through it, and then a fade again. So right now we're back up. It looks like today, on a good day and a good number, maybe Crocs can get up higher here. And if we do take this 110, then you do take 115, and then you probably get back to the 200-period moving average. So for me on this stock, this is looking pretty healthy now. Downside, let's just see if it can hold that 50-period moving average. So for me, just looking at Crocs there, a little bit of a unique name. So 104, just trying to get through there. So if we do, that's the 50-period moving average. We've hit it before and made a couple moves higher. That was 105 up to 110. So I'd like to see us take at least 110 and then get there. We're not going to get there today, but definitely Crocs on watch. And then the downgrade there for Apple, yeah, I mean, that's probably holding this stock back. I mean, I don't, Apple's gotten pretty... This was its worst day since 2022, down 5.5%. We followed it up with a down 3%, or I'm not sure what we finished yesterday, but down another bit yesterday as well. So that's about 10% in 2 days. And then look where we wound up, right? We wound up sort of right at these nice little levels here of 220. So we'll see about Apple today. I'll pick this up on weakness if we can get into 216, 217, but I don't anticipate that today. This market looks like it wants to go. So we'll wait for it. The sticky note's now out. You can go check that out. I actually have BBAI on the note today as well. So up to 345, up 9%. Okay, now things have changed. I'm trying to get long Big Bear AI at the 200 period. I wrote down on the sticky note 315 right there, which is now out, by the way. So Big Bear AI down there at 315 is what I wrote down, but maybe I should adjust it. So there it is, Big Bear AI, 315 long. But it was the 200 period. I'm just looking for support. So if it comes in, that's a name that I like to trade there. So 325 looking like the support level now for Big Bear AI. So we'll try to play that one back there to the upside. I'm still stuck long at 490. We talked about that. So not a great investment there for myself, but more of a trading tool there. We'll see if Big Bear AI can get going on. Hopefully some good news. Yeah, Apple was at that price yesterday, John. So that's what I'm saying. And I also wrote down on the sticky note here, let's just talk about this before do we have anybody waiting? No, I don't think we have anybody today. It's already 9 o'clock, so okay. I just wanted to say right here, I wrote down, look, it feels like a long day, but we'll wait for the flush here early as we can get some of these levels, right? But if we don't, then we do want to look to VWAP to possibly hold. So some of these levels, like I wrote down here, I adjusted them. So I wrote down NVIDIA 109 to 110, even though we wrote down 109 there. This is all pre-number. We wrote down Palantir 80, but now we might have to wait for 81s. So it's just a matter of adjusting some of these targets, giving them a little bit more room to see if they can go. Bitcoin at 84,000 is nice too, Obi. So we'll see if there's some flow through on Bitcoin as well today. That's great, man. That bottom at 77, maybe that was it.
Maybe that was it, yeah.
Everybody waiting for 72, 73s. Sometimes, you get that flush, you get that bounce back right now. So we're going to see if Bitcoin it can hold this 82, 83 area, which seems to be the new support level. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Did you want to? No, I've been there. Okay, good. Scan that QR code there. Get trade ideas. Real Trading Campus program is now back on as well. That is completely free. Anybody outside? Okay. Well, it's off now, but anybody can sign up. You know what? Off or on, who cares? Scan that thing, get in there right now, and join Real Trading. It's completely free. It's a great program. Hey, man, just scan it and see what happens. I thought it was March 24th we had the sign-out date, but maybe it's all full. So congratulations to us for promoting it, and congratulations to you for getting involved. Yeah. Hey, Brendan, we'll just let them know the next time it's on. But thanks for supporting that program, and let's go back over to the desk.
Informed me late last night that they are now full. So, yeah, great job. We may get another round, not next week, but the week after, but we'll keep it posted for campus if anyone's still interested. Let's get going. Lots to talk about this morning. Sure. Semis, strong. Here's Sharif.
All right, 55.77, Breno. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES March contract with the overnight low, 55.74. So we're essentially defending that closing print. We're above 5,600 right now with that spike that we got on the release of CPI, taking us up to 56.75. So here's the deal. We're going to use that 50-point area because we're actually below it right now as resistance. If we clear it, if we get above 56.50, then we're looking at 5,700 as resistance. To the downside, we're going to use 5,600 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in that description will get you to that sign-up page. And then all you need is your email address, and you get the watch list. Looks like that. Has everything on it you need to know every single morning that's moving around in the pre-market. And why? Let's talk about a semi-joint venture, possibly, kind of. Here's 4.5% right now for NVIDIA on a bounce-back day. We did ever so slightly end higher, basically flat yesterday. But, I mean, it kind of, dare I say, looks like a bottom.
God, I hope so. All right, so we'll talk about that. So TSMC has approached NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, and Qualcomm about taking stakes in a joint venture to operate Intel's foundry division. The Taiwanese chip giant would run Intel's foundry operations, but not own more than 50%, which we know is one of the caveats by Donald Trump. Obviously, he wants to maintain local ownership. So the talks follow a request from the Trump administration for TSMC to help revive Intel, but any deal would need U.S. government approval to avoid it from being fully owned. So the strategic move here, TSMC already announced a $100 billion investment in the U.S., which includes 5 new chip facilities. Talks continue with multiple potential partners as Intel resists selling its design unit separately from its foundry division. They're kind of sticking point there with Intel, so we'll have to see how that all works out. Some of the hurdles, some of the technical challenges, Brendo, Intel and TSMC, they use different chip-making processes. The 18A by Intel versus the 2nm by TSMC. There's also corporate resistance. A lot of Intel executives, they don't want to move the business on, and there's a historical rivalry between the two. So, some some hurdles here.
Yeah. Intel, that said, Intel was doing quite nicely. The only one of the group right now coming back in a hurry. 5.25% still, but just lost 21 on the way back down, guys.
Oh boy.
All right, Obi.
Yes.
I mean, you traded one name
I
yesterday.
have been trading. I was talking about this to Sharif this morning. I was like, oh boy. So I was like, I might be a little too focused on Intel in the past few days, but like I have reasons for it.
Yeah.
I have reasons for trading it. Like, you know, there's the whole potential for buyout. Now we're getting this news. And it's been doing some significant volume. It's been interacting with some interesting levels, like that $20 level, and a couple of weeks last week I think it was 21. I might have seen some supply kind of stepping in there, and coming in today I was like, all right, maybe I should lay off of Intel there. Maybe I might be getting too anchored or aggressive, and boom, comes out a catalyst right here, doing relative volume, coming back in, maybe breaking some downtrend. So I'm like, all right, Intel. It's like it's as if it's calling to me, right? I was like, all right, you know, don't go anywhere. Obi, I'm still right here. So, bit of a gap up there. Consolidation happened here in and around that 21. I kind of want to look back at it and be like, all right, last week we had some supply at that 21. So let's go to an hourly here. Let's go to an hourly right here. So you see this right here, this little chop. Wednesday we came in right here, aggressive selling, kind of a continuation, chop sideways, but we hold this bit of a range here in and around 21s right here. So every time it kind of popped into this 21 area, we got a little bit of selling, and we had that continuation on Monday and Tuesday yesterday right off of the open. Now with this little bit of a gap up, we were coming right back into some of these areas. Now bigger picture, this ticker has been selling off quite aggressively off of the test of that 2788 mark that happened after hours on February 18th. So yeah, with a little bit of catalyst today with TSM looking to join them in a joint venture there. Maybe we do get some action, but it seems as of right now, even with the CPI being hot, and you can take a look at NVIDIA, taking a look at a 15-minute chart, distinctly different from both NVIDIA and SMH. So let's just go straight up to SMH. SMH in the pre-market right here, you can tell right away there's a strong bid back up into 220s. NVIDIA, what is that doing? Probably a strong bid back up into 114s right here on NVIDIA. So yeah, 105, maybe that was the bottom. Nice little wiki action there on the 105, absolutely beautiful there. Maybe that's the bottom, maybe that isn't, I have no idea, but Intel looking distinctly different with a pullback here. So maybe there is still supply in this area from prior weeks. We'd have to kind of overcome this. Let's see if some of these resistances from the past couple of days, like week opening high was 2050s. We've already kind of bounced aggressively off of that on this little flush that we had at off the CPI. So again, maybe it's in no man's land. Maybe it's just consolidating. I have no idea, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. If it continues off of this, maybe VWAP, maybe some anchored might be in play here. So that's what I'll be watching for. Yeah, anchored's all the way up at 21.15. So still a while away. But yeah, 21.15. If it can get back up to VWAP, and if supply shows up again there, maybe it could be something. But it seems like it's continuing to sell off as of right now. That's my look on Intel, Sean. So.
I like that. I just want to say right here, I have put up here, what are people trading today? What are people looking at? My lovely wife says good morning, so I say good morning to her. And then Cash Money goes apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Whole club is looking at her. And I just said, yeah, good job. But there is a downgrade on Apple today. But we are looking at the 220 is looking pretty strong there. So a lot of people interested today. Tesla's on here. I should tell my wife GM, like she wants to trade GM, not Ford. But right down there, Soxel, I think is going to be a good one. Sebastian likes Neo, and then Irfan likes PLTR. I am an fan of PLTR, at least a fan of it. All right, so my number one trade idea today, we really hit NVIDIA yesterday in the afternoon. We took it through this 111 trade. We actually had that dip buy into, remember we had it into the 200 period there. We also had the TQs at this time, but then NVIDIA fell off into the after hours, and once 350 hit, with the market on close and balance. Remember it came 10 million shares to sell or whatever. It quickly got paired off, but then it just tanked into the close. What a great opportunity that's going to turn out to have been to buy, but there it is, nice upside move. So I wrote down 109 again, but when we talked about that, that's kind of where the 200 period was. Now it looks like support's going to be at 110, 111. So right now I'm bidding in NVIDIA 111. See if we can get down into there. To drop $3, $2 off the open, I think that's very, very possible. Let's just see if it can get going. It's been pretty nasty. I mean, I made that comment about how low Apple was yesterday, and NVIDIA was 105 as well, as Obi pointed out. So I really like the stock. I know it can get going. We all love this stock to trade. It's a great trading vehicle, whether or not you like the long or the short. Look, I mean, the momentum's higher here. We have support underneath. I like the trade. We don't have to be married to it. I just think that if you're going to go long 111 like we're going to, then I'm still feeling like at least 110. We got to hold it to there. Maybe even back into that posted level that we wrote down of 109. So this one's going to take a minute to get going for sure. You just covered Intel. Everything else I have to talk about is basically on the list, so I'm going to wait. I wrote down Intel as well on the same note for NVIDIA. I'm going to be like you, Obi, be a little patient here, see if we do get that push down, and then see what the supply-demand looks like down here near 20. So yeah. We'll wait for that. We'll see if we can tape read a little bit and see if there's anybody on the level 2 that supports that bid. But I like it down there at 20. It's great news from TSM today. If they're looking to invest, that's great. So the Foundry and Intel, hopefully that can get going. But we were just at 28 for Intel. So the fact that we're back down here to 20, 21, I'm not trying to celebrate that.
Well, people are definitely chasing into that move. So I can understand the selling that came in as aggressively as it did.
Those of you asking, I saw someone else there, Mr. Chicken, wanted to know if Neil quit. No, he did not quit. He's on vacation. So thanks, Obi, for coming through. And then tomorrow's Joe. Friday's Joe. Obi's off to Miami to go on a little bit of vacation himself there and do some trading-related activities. So that's great. Talk to some people down there. So good job there, Obi, again. Thanks for filling in today. But we're back at 2 o'clock. So let's go back over to the desk right now and figure out what the next story is all about. Oh, it's Tesla.
Yeah, 6% right now. Back to the highs we go here for Tesla. This is kind of interesting. Elon essentially doubling down on U.S. production, going to double in 2 years. That's ambitious, I feel, need we remind everyone that demand has been dropping for the past 6 months here, right across the globe, not only just in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, especially with these recent protests, Brendo, down 37% in Europe, not like he wants to ship out there. So this is the deal. He's doing it basically to support Donald Trump's policies and to show confidence in the U.S. economy. So he says, Gary Black, who's a managing partner at the Future Fund, says, this is huge. Trump's influence here could have sway with about 130 million American voters. So we'll have to see if that moves the needle. But we got to keep focus here. Tesla stock dropped over 15% on Monday, wiping out $130 billion in market value. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But I don't think that White House shindig yesterday or the car lineup hurt anybody. And he had some colorful colors. He had a blue one there, he had a black one, a red one. It was great.
Why not?
Juxtaposed onto the White House.
Nice backdrop. Day highs right now here, guys, for Tesla.
Tesla was a little concerning on Monday. Again, we got that strong sell-off below that 250 mark, and that was a beautiful kind of action there. We broke that 250. We broke prior day low. We had a bit of a trend kind of coming in, a higher time frame trend, and then we had an intraday downtrend as well. We got a little bit of market tailwind as well, and yeah, closing at the lows, at the very low, the lowest print on the day comes in at 8 on the 8 p.m. close, and my question becomes, I feel like I'm missing a piece of information here, to be honest. I feel like I'm missing a piece of information here because I feel like I got to look at what Tesla did in Blue Ocean that night to maybe get an idea, but I have no idea. But it kind of caps up the next day and holds that prior day consolidation low, which was at that 220. And I remember yesterday, one of my top ideas was, if Tesla's going to close that strong, I'm going to look for the continuation below 220. And guess what? That trade never came. We false broke that 220, and now we're bidding right back up towards some of these levels from the beginning of the week. So now my question becomes, is the bid strong enough to reclaim that 250? And that 250 is still a little bit of an over-under, maybe on the intraday. But let's see if Tesla will catch a continuation today. Again, maybe the president rolling up in a Model S could could have some effect on that. I have no idea, but we were doing some pretty nice relative volume yesterday in the pre-market, and we're seeing a little bit of continuation, holding above yesterday's double top highs at around 236s on Tesla. So maybe that could also potentially be a level to watch out for prior day highs coming in. But yeah, this is right away. I know as soon as I throw this line on, Sean, I know all the stuff is gonna appear. But you can kind of see a bit of a trend from yesterday's low is kind of just arbitrary right there. So we're still trending off of yesterday's day low. False break of 220 was interesting, and that continuation of the bid off of that is what I'm looking at on Tesla. Maybe we do get past that 250 today, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, we sort of talked about that earlier on today. Look, there's still a lot of negativity around the stock. I mean, a lot of people don't like what's been happening there. I even see in the chat, people commenting about, some of the political ties here. And there's going to be people on the left, people on the right. Everyone's going to sort of, talk their own politics. But we're talking about the stock and the economy and what's been happening right now. And honestly, I mean, if Tesla's going to double, you talk about doubling production. I mean, they still do have, their cars still sell a heck of a lot of cars. Sure, they're down year over year, month over month on sales, basically all across the world. But that's already, isn't that already kind of baked in a little bit? I mean, if they do ever come up with that cheaper car, which, apparently they're getting closer to doing that and putting it up for sale at some point there. We have the robo-taxis that are getting worked on. I just wonder if it's just a little too far, how far we've bled down there for what this company is. I've heard Cathie Wood obviously talk really positively about it, but she's talking up her own book as well. So for me, I think it's just a long today. I don't really see any reasons for this name to get hit. I like a 236. I'm actually going to bid. Now we're getting closer to 238. I'm going to put a bid at 238. Now I know that may not hit, but I do expect a little bit of a flush early. I know you're in the TQs, but
might get stopped out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you get stopped out, you get stopped out, but that flush could come to VWAP. And that's kind of what I'm looking for on the NASDAQ right now. So if we do flush on Tesla, VWAP's 241. And I put in the note, any stock you're looking at, right, regardless of what it is, we'll talk about it on Palantir as well, or Robinhood, anything. Right now, let's just see if volume-weighted average price holds. This was a sort of an unexpected move up. The NASDAQ went up 2% at its highs, and it's pulling back. So Tesla could be part of that as well. So let's just wait for it. Again, there's that NVIDIA move that we saw as well. There's the pullback. So, the market has its ebbs and flows, and right now I think the flow is long on Tesla, regardless of what you think politically here. So let's just see what happens. I don't really hold too much weight to Trump and all that yesterday. We know that he's going to support this company, right? So I wait for full self-drive news. I wait for software updates. I wait for robo-taxi. And I think if you're going to be patient with it, these are some levels where you might want to start nibbling a little bit, regardless of what you think politically. So I don't know. The Tesla calls, I know Joe did some work yesterday on Tesla 100. We're not, I don't think we're getting there anytime soon. And if we do, then I wonder about where this market is at that time also, right? So, all right, that's Tesla. And I don't love it as much as Cathie does, but I do like the stock down at these levels.
All right, let's go on to Palantir. Another one up 6+% here. CEO Alex Karp. Surprise, surprise. Becoming the top earning tech boss with the AI stock up, staggering 216% at the end of the year. I mean, there's not much on Palantir today, but a nice bounce.
Hope he combs his hair. Shout out to Palantir. So here's the deal. We're going to have an AIP conference tomorrow, March 13th, with a live streamed event. Featured companies are going to include Heineken, Walgreens, AT&T, as well as new clients as well. The event will focus on Palantir's role in revitalizing American manufacturing and its expansion across multiple industries. So we'll definitely have that for you tomorrow. Some recent strategic partnerships. So we got Ondas Holdings, which is using Palantir's Foundry program. We have Voyager Technology Collaborations, which is developing AI space solutions. They also have a new U.S. Army contract to the tune of about $178 million. And they're even doing business with the European Space Agency, Brendo, following an AI-powered mobility solution in Spain.
It never ends. Just to confirm what I was mentioning here, 12.8 billion Karp's holdings of Palantir stock now worth. It was 2.2 billion in 2024 from AFR.com. So Yeah, nice 12-month period there for Mr. Alex Karp. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends at Foremost Clean Energy. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy, leveraging one of the biggest megatrends on the planet, nuclear energy, partnered with Denison Mines, the property strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your entry on the NASDAQ, FMST here in Toronto on the CSE. FAT is the ticker, foremostcleanenergy.com. Guys, Palantir today up nicely.
Yeah, interesting numbers there from Alex Karp. The only thing is that Palantir has been around for 21 years, right? So it founded in 2003 by Alex Karp, Peter Thiel, as well as a couple others. And the thing about it is like, I know he's made a lot of money this year, but that's, you know, they direct listed the company. Like, I have no idea what kind of salary or anything these guys have been taking for those 20 years. Obviously, it's been a great last 3 years since they've been public, right? And so, you know, ebbs and flows again with stocks as we go upside. I really like Palantir. I mean, they're the ones with the government contracts. Their foundry system actually, you know, has the government approval for security, for safety and all that. They've got that Department of Defense, the White House stamp as well. So, you know, anything militarily that's involving AI and data, also immigration. They're involved in many wings, and when you have government contracts, there is, and especially with this new, I mean, it's not new. I mean, all these contracts came under the Biden administration, but I feel like the current administration also going to be focusing on military and things like that. I mean, that goes without saying. So, you know, we'll wait to see about Palantir and where it can go. You know, what goes up must come down. We've seen huge moves down in DraftKings. We talked about a huge move down in Coinbase. And it's just a lot of these names that get a lot of air out of them. It's kind of like stair step up and then elevator down. But in Palantir's case, it was kind of like elevator up and elevator down. And it's just trying to find its way. And I feel like we're getting close. Again, this is only charting since when we came to the NASDAQ. And even then, right, as of January, we look at a lot of these names that are down on the year, right? Palantir, if you're going to January 1st, you're getting pretty close, right? So you're right into here, $74, $75. That was the bouncing spot. So maybe that's the bottom. I say the word maybe. We don't have that crystal ball. But if I'm looking at price action, I'd really like to see it get back up to the 50 period on the daily. So that's going to be something that's important there. But as far as today, up 6%, I'm going to trade all these names, Obi, as if they're like earnings plays. They're gapping up, so that's fine. Excuse me. Man, this frog in the throat. I got the water here today. Gapping up and then looking for pullbacks into the 200 period moving average. So right now, I'm sitting at $81. See if we get that pullback. If we do, then we'll address it at 80. All right, so we'll get long at 81, we'll get a little more long at 80, and then if it drips down to like even 50 cents lower than that, 79.50, let's take our $1.25 hit and regroup. That's been the key. Obi, you and I have talked about this even yesterday.
Yes. How
to avoid bigger hits, right? And the thing is like no matter how much I like Palantir there, you have to top out or tap out. Hopefully we top out at some point on Palantir and we have the long. But at the end of the day, you have to tap out if it's not going to be the right call.
Yeah.
So Palantir up 6% could easily give back half of that, which puts us lower than $80, and then we'll have to deal with it at that point. So for me, we'll play the long, but we're not married to any of these positions today because quite frankly, no matter all this good news, this is still a tariff, this is still a headline market, and Palantir could fall just as easy as it's up 6%. So we want to ring the register, yes. I could see people selling off the open because of this move up. Many names up 5, 6, 7, 8%. That's like that relief rally that people go to bed saying to themselves, man, I'm scared of this market. Only if we could get a bump and I could get into some cash. So I could see that happening on a name like Palantir, a name like Tesla. Pretty much every name we're going to talk about right now has had huge moves today. So be patient with it. Palantir is just one of those names. I'm bidding right now 81. So we'll talk about where we're getting closer to the bell, but that's what I'm thinking for Palantir. What's good on your end?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something something to watch for. Again, I kind of want to point out here, things did gap up pretty nicely. And we came right here, looking at the VIX. This is a 3-hour chart on the VIX. We kind of come right into this trend that the VIX has been holding. And look at that, the first 3-hour candle to hold that's being printed right now, 2 hours 47 minutes left, is holding that trend line as of right now. Again, with a bit of CPI much lower than expected, I think definitely something to keep an eye on there. I know I am long the TQs, but just again, if it's going to stop me out, then that's more information for me. Confluence with that VIX move. But yeah, Palantir, look at it on the weekly, man. This kind of reminds me of some of the tickers during COVID, where they had that euphoric run up, and then yeah, they pulled back quite decently. And yeah, sure, the companies are still fine. They're very valuable. They still do good work. They get government contracts. But in terms of price action, take a look at this. We're kind of gapping up into week highs. So still well within this range. You can see that weeklies we've been selling off, and we haven't really been able to break any sort of prior week highs on the way down. So let's see if Palantir can kind of push back up into 90 over the next 2 days that are left in the trading week here. But taking a look at this, Palantir definitely right off the bat, I'm like, all right, maybe I do not want to fight the long too much, because shorts are definitely in charge. But yeah, a little bit of a gap up push there. So I think for Palantir, if I am looking a little bit bullish here, I'm just going to look for a hold above prior week high right there. Week high is at that 82.5. We're already trading above that in the pre-market, but the next level would be some of these other prior levels from last week to see if we can actually catch a bid and do those prior sellers
really
get kind of pushed through. So that's the question I'll be asking. Nice little trend from yesterday as well. But like you said, we're seeing that bit of trend across the board. Yesterday was a little bit consolidative. We saw what the SPY did as well. And yeah, we're catching a bit of a bid, finally a bit of a relief, like you said. So maybe we get sold into.
I just want to address something here, because maybe we have a new viewer here, and we do the show for you guys, and we want to educate as much as possible. KK says here, what does he mean when he says he's bidding 81, long or short? So great question, KK. I said that in the chat that I would answer this in 1 minute. So your 1 minute is now. Oh, by the way, Palantir, we just had the imbalances come out, and BBAI, NVIDIA coming with a bid as well, so that goes a little bit higher there. Palantir gets the bid as well, as that's going higher. So KK, what that means is like this. I'll just show you. So I'm just going to hit bid right here. So it comes up, all right, while the default's there for 1,000 shares. So what I would do right now is I'll just put in 81.25, and I'll push enter. So right now I'm sitting with a pending order trying to get long here, 1,000 shares down at 81.25. So I've added my order into this book. Like, this is 100 shares. Every single thing on here is 100. So now I'm sitting with like a 10 spot at $81. So if it comes down to 81.25, then that 1,000 shares will fill up. And I'll be sitting there taking the bid. So I'm adding to the market. I'm telling the market that I want to buy the stock with a bid at 81.25. Okay, let's go back over to Brendo and get going here, because it's Robinhood time.
Yeah, a couple more to go here. Robinhood trying to get going right now, back above $39. There's a price target cut this morning, but that's a pretty good looking chart to start things off. Context key here, though. I mean, remember, huge move down so far for Hood.
Yeah, not a bad look here, Brendo. It was a price target downgrade. They did maintain the buy rating. So Deutsche Bank analyst Brian Bedell reduced the price target from 61 to 75, maintaining that buy rating. He says, the February metrics weren't that bad. They were good overall, strong momentum, trading volumes for equities and options. But he does expect some downward revisions here for crypto transaction volumes, especially, in the pullback in crypto prices and the current de-risking macro environment. So he does anticipate some revisions to be more conservative levels. He also anticipates more downward revisions from some other individual or companies that offer crypto, like Coinbase and some others. So be on the lookout for that.
This was as of the end of yesterday. So, I mean, context key, as I was mentioning, if you zoom out onto, guys, thank you, a daily chart, trying desperately to hold on to $36 here, guys.
Yeah, Robinhood. I was just responding to something in the chat here. But yeah, look, I mean, we talked about that. I bought some JP Morgan the other day as well, but I really like, I like Robinhood down here. We talked about sort of some of the moves that they were doing. They have that gold card as well. They have more clients, more assets under management than they ever have. It was an absolutely banger quarter for Robinhood. 700% increase in crypto trading. I think with crypto coming back, I like the stock. It's right into some key levels here. I did not pull the trigger, getting a little bit of FOMO on it, but you can't have FOMO after one day, right? So I just wonder about this move that's been happening here today. We know Cathie Wood was in there buying this 2 days ago. They're going to be happy. Do they sell now up 8%? This is part of what I'm worried about. So for me, it's the same story, Obi, as we got to get going with 2 minutes left, 37.50 for me on Robinhood.
Yeah, I think we're looking for that potential continuation. Again, similar story here on a lot of these tickers when we're looking at Tesla, when we're looking at that Palantir as well. Bit of consolidative action yesterday. Interestingly enough, this kind of reminds me of that Tesla chart, kind of closing at its lows into the 8 p.m. close, and then consolidating yesterday, continuing today off of yesterday's double top highs right there. These are sitting at 38.31s.
Right.
So you know what? I'm just gonna maybe put an alert up here and see if that kind of comes in anytime during the day, because this double top high is kind of in line with this consolidation that we had on the way down, and we're trying to break this consolidation high from Monday. Again, this was leg, consolidation leg, so let's see if we can get it back above this, and let's see if this resistance turns into support, or is it still resistance underneath this $40 level here on Robinhood. So that's what I got on watch for Robinhood.
Less than a minute to go here. Nuclear stocks, quantum stocks to the upside. To sum it up, Amazon, Google, among companies mentioning 2050. I mean, this is a long time out, 2050, to double capacity on the power output.
Yeah, this is not a new pledge for them. So this was adopted back in December of 2023, Brendo, by over 20 countries. Bank of America, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, they're all in on it. They're all looking to basically participate, so we'll have to see how this all goes.
30 seconds to go here, guys.
We like SMR. We talked about how this world needs to get powered up. So I like the nuclear plays. So we'll keep on watching that. But with just a couple minutes left, Big Bear AI bid, Nvidia bid, Palantir bid. That's what we're doing. We only have now 10 seconds, Obi. So we'll talk about some of those nuclear names, I'm sure, as they potentially go nuclear. Foremost Energy, again, brought to you, bringing us that opening bell. Make sure you do check them out. FMST there. C8 on the CSE FAT. There it is. All right, thank you Foremost again for that. Now let's go over and start to watch out for what's going on with some of these stocks. I didn't have levels for the TQs. I know you're in it, so we'll watch out to see what's going on right there. The market's pulling back a little bit, but Nvidia's going higher. We'll wait for 112 maybe. I'm going to put a bid there for Nvidia. We were waiting for 111, but as we said, Obi, we never know where the stock's going to go. So there it goes. Nice upside move right here. Maybe we just get long the NASDAQ, man. The NASDAQ's bouncing off 6150. That is a good level there. I'm going to put a bid lower for the TQs down there at 6150 because right now we're starting to go a little upside right now in this market. So be patient, little early bumps here. Nvidia's taking down 115 right here, Obi. So
yes.
That's a big move for them. Let's just check out what Tesla's doing. Thank you to everybody for joining right now. This should be a big day. We're excited for it. Tesla dropping back in. We'll wait to see if VWAP can come in. My first trade might be on the NASDAQ though because everything else is ripping. So 6150 here for NASDAQ is what I'm interested in right now.
Oh boy, yeah. So we're kind of holding some of those pre-market levels. 62 still trading on these here TQs. 19.7, yes, that's what I'm watching. Yesterday we were looking pretty closely at that 19.5. We're trading above that now here, and yeah, that 115. I did pull up Nvidia here, as you mentioned. That 115, I think, is going to be potentially interesting. So I'll pull it up for you guys here on this tape over here, Nvidia, and then we'll throw on a little bit of a size filter if I can get there. Boom. So let's see if anybody is sitting at that 15, if we can get up there, and if this market is going to continue to be this strong like this.
I'm going
to continue to look for that potential long. Again, we talk about keeping an eye on the VIX, so that's also something that I'm considering, but that might be a little bit too much information here. In terms of earnings names, as of right now, I'm also watching three earnings names: Groupon, eHang, and iRobot. So those will be on watch as well. And of course, we're also watching Nvidia NVIDIA for that 115 as of right now. So 62's holding on the TQs here, so I think I'm good with that one there. That pre-market, see, it took a couple tries, but it's starting to work a little bit. Let's see if there's actual continuation and if this trade is going to come in nicely. Again, we've been selling off for quite a while now, and maybe finally some positive sentiment to take us a little bit to the upside, maybe break some downtrends as well. There goes the VIX kind of coming in here. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on this all day to see if this 3-hour candle that I'm looking at right now actually holds this trend to give me a little bit of direction. Maybe today the VIX is my compass. Usually I say that the SPY is my compass, but maybe today the VIX is something I'll be taking a little bit of a closer look at here. Consolidating 14 halves on NVIDIA, so poised for that 115. Let's see if that comes in, and let's see if anybody's sitting on that level here. I'm expecting there to be a little bit of size there, and if there is, maybe we get a little bit of a trading opportunity. The market is very, very strong.
Yeah, very
Tailwind
strong.
is on our side.
Very strong right now. Yeah, I mean, nothing pulled back. So we were waiting for those pullbacks. Nothing pulled back. I mean, if anything, Tesla 50 period, 244. You're still $2 away from that. That could be something. Really like the NASDAQ strength, man. And we just put a bid down there on the TQQs. I know you've got it. That's a great trade for now. And it looks like it's working out. So that's a great one. Good job there, Obi, as it continues to go higher there in the TQQs. Like, again, I put some new bids in. Like I was trying to buy some Palantir there off VWAP. That's not working out right now, as that's up now 8%. So this move is just continuing higher. Normally, like, I'm already in, and we're talking about, this market and, where we've been. But there goes NVIDIA right there, just taking out 115 right now. So NVIDIA, maybe this is the long, man. We like this, but we liked it a little bit lower than where we are right now, obviously, as we're starting to take it out. And as I look at 115 now for NVIDIA, and we don't have to get too excited because the amount of shares that we can throw at this, we can make our day in a matter of seconds, but we want to make sure that we're doing the right plays, right? So that right here, maybe that was the top, and we're just sort of getting rid of the last week there on NVIDIA as we make new highs. So there it goes, 115. I think that's worth it, but look at that, man. It just broke 115.
Look at that.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Yeah, that 115 was wild, man. I was looking at it. I got 115.97 actually.
114.97.
Sorry, 114.97. I wish we got to 115.
Yeah, well, I'm in now, but maybe a little bit too.
Yeah, so that initial break was absolutely wild. Like I was watching that 114 halves hold.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, is it going to ramp up? Is it going to ramp up? And that aggression did come in quite nicely, and I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to take a trade, sure, I can post in front of the 15, I can take it into the 15, but watching that tape, I'm like, all right, we've seen it attempt, this is distinctly different and is much stronger. I'm taking the push into 115. I happened to get 114.97 right before it broke.
Let's go.
And it gave you, Sean, 40 pennies almost instantly.
Dude, we're in the money 40
wild.
pennies right now, too.
Our
Let's
even
go.
dollar breaks back. Oh boy, what market are we living in?
Go.
Is it 2020? I don't know. But 116's on its way, and these TQs, oh boy.
Here we go, man. We are. Go ahead, Obi. Yeah. I mean, you are crushing that long in the market. We got in, man. So we'll hit our first trade right now. We're long at 15.20 on NVIDIA. We're almost, again, we're getting close to that goal here. We said that, we wanted to get long on NVIDIA. Let's just see if it goes. We're trying to scalp a little bit out, but still try to hold it. A little nervous there.
Wow.
We're topping out, Obi. Just be careful with your TQs. Yeah. I mean, not that you have to worry about it, but we are now right back to pre-market highs of where that CPI print took us in.
Yeah.
CPI came out, 2.8 or 2.9? Slightly, I think it was 2.9. Slightly lower than expected there, which was great for the market, and we get that little boon there upside. So we'll have to wait. 19.8, basically the trigger level there. So we'll see if they can get high as that and get going. And oh boy, here we go, man. We're almost in that club, Joe. So we're getting ready to go here. NVIDIA taking down 116 now. There we go, upside. Here we go. Shout out to Sharif and the Dallas Cowboys right there. So, all right, man. Sharif was cheering me on, and here we go. It's a nice move to the upside right now. 70 cents now for NVIDIA. All right, so that's one name. What did your Intel do, though, Obi?
I took eyes off of Intel. I was like...
Good idea. Intel has not moved 1 cent so far.
I didn't like the action off the open. I'm like, all right, if NVIDIA is going to do this, I looked at it while we were chopping in the 114s. Yeah. I was watching Intel, and I was like, okay, well, this is not doing anything. NVIDIA might be a little bit of a better vehicle, but here's the thing, man. I did not plan to take NVIDIA. That was the issue. So I'm like, once again, I find myself in a position where I do not have any kind of risk that I should be putting on this move. And I'm like, all right, well, 115's coming in. Let me take a quick tape scalp. I don't give it the proper risk that it deserves. And I'm definitely significantly undersized for it. But whatever, the trade is a trade. I took a piece of it, threw that, put that rep in. But let's see if we get that continuation. Trading almost at 116s. I don't know if the high, yeah, we printed high of day. 116.01s is the high of day. So nice little continuation off that 105 bounce. So I think that's something I should have definitely considered. If NVIDIA is going to bounce off that 105 after closing like that the prior day, maybe we want to keep it on watch here. But yeah, 115 is potentially coming right back in here on NVIDIA, 115 halves. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to get out of this one, and I'm going to reassess there. I'm going to get out of a piece of these TQs as well as we come back down, as we broke that prior bar on some of these levels here. So yeah, I will piece off of a little bit. Oh boy, coming in real hot.
Coming in real hot. Real hot. All right, so yeah, good. We're in the TQs for the first time. We did hit that siren. We went long Apple. So I know I have this wick. I got to fix these wicks on the dark pool. Okay, there we go. Just zoom in. I'm going to use 220 as the base. 220 is where VWAP is. We went long on Apple there. We are now long Apple down here. We're also long NVIDIA. We did not bail on that. We're going to stay there. And we do have a new position right now. It is the TQQs. So, oh boy, we're rocking right now. 3 positions, all long TQs. Let's take 30 handles. We'll take 30 handles right there on the TQQs and take a little bit more if we can get it. There it goes. Let's go. Give me that 6250. Give me that print. Okay, what's up, Adara? There it is, daily goal hit. Let's see if we can keep it going. Let's go, Bulls.
Keep an eye here in this Solidian technology here. STI is the ticker for this company. No news, but a 7% short float for small cap STI. Back to you.
Right, there it is, man. The club is now in the building right now. We've got $1 on NVIDIA. We've got 85 cents on Apple right now. We are rocking. There it goes. Apple to the upside. Let's go. There it is. It is daily goal hit right there. We already talked about that. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. 40 handles in the money on the TQs as well right now, Obi. So we definitely stuck with this trade as we continue to go higher. There it is. We talked about let's get VWAP, right? Let's get VWAP. This is exactly what we put on the sticky note. I want to thank all 50,000 of you for following on Twitter. We are starting to get going now again. There goes NVIDIA. Days high, 116.
Boom.
Let's go right now, everybody. There goes NVIDIA. Let's take some more out. Boom, $1.50 in the money now as we continue to get a little bit higher up. Yeah, we're just getting excited for the show. You know, we don't need to be too emotional here right now. Just nice and calm. The thing is, I don't want people to confuse emotion with excitement. You know,
green tea could help with that.
No, green tea ain't helping anything. Green tea has a lot of caffeine in it, my guy, so don't worry about that. So at the end of the day, right here, as we know, I like green tea, but it's just what I'm doing. Oh my God. Exactly. It's about being excited. Yes. We talked about buying stuff at VWAP. We talked about the long today. We talked about NVIDIA. We talked about Apple. We talked about the TQQs. So we're going to go 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. So yeah, I mean, when that happens, we're going to get excited about it. You know, and I mean, that's what trading's about. If you're going to sit here and not celebrate the wins, but lament your losses, I mean, then you're going the opposite way. So, all right, here we go. Nice little move upside there for the TQs. Let's take some more out at the high of the day, and let's get going. So, you know, I started trading the TQs, and I'm glad that Obi's on this as well today. And it's just because I love trading the Mag 7. And you know, if I'm going to trade some of these hot names, we might as well look at the NASDAQ as well. So here it goes. We took some more out on NVIDIA. We're on there on Apple. Apple's the one that's a little interesting. There's that, you know, it did go to the high side. We do know that Apple got downgraded today. If there's any position that I'm not in love with, you know, it would be the Apple trade. So let me get out of another piece here if we can in the teens. We'll offer 12s. There it is. We take a piece out. We'll offer something else out in the 20s. There it is. Maybe we're wrong. I'd like to be wrong about this. We still have the most shares in Apple because it really didn't go as much as we thought. So we've taken some out. We're in about half right now of the TQs still, and we're in way less than half of NVIDIA. We're in 20% of NVIDIA. So we take advantage, Obi, of that bump up, and no idea where we're going now, but that was a fun little bump into 19.8, and we talked about it when you were on the TQs as well. I was like, watch out, and just same thing that I'm trying to do right now, watch out for this high. Yep. You know, we've seen fades come out on the way. What's up, Dick Tracy? I should do horse racing and auctions on the weekend. You know, I think that would be a lot of fun, but trust me, man, I I ain't got time for that right now, man. That's why we come into work, man. We have fun every single day. And I mean, we're really blessed to work with, such great people around here and get all the help that we need because, like I can't do half of this without that watch list, without our production team, without everybody watching, without the support from traders around here. So for me, it's, feel real lucky to be on the floor and be able to do this every single day. So at the end of it all, that's how I feel. And I hope you guys feel the same watching this because we're having a great time every day.
Yes, sir. And never a dull day here on the floor. And definitely, it's the teamwork that makes the dream work, Sean. So that is.
Did you come up with that,
very,
or
very apparent? No, I think I've heard it somewhere.
Okay.
There, but a little bit of a pullback here. Let's see if that pullback sustains. Holding some moving averages there, but I like that 15 kind of the pullback off of that 17. Let's see if it works out. No idea if it actually will. VWAP. Where is VWAP? You may ask on NVIDIA. It is at 114. 114.07 I have on my chart here. So a little bit of a pullback from that aggressive bid that we got right off of the open. Let's see if we get a bit of continuation. This is the first kind of sign of selling that's coming in. But guess what, John? That VIX is holding that level pretty well. And if the VIX kind of starts to bounce there off of that support that we've been holding, I kind of do want to get involved. But nothing too crazy just yet. I am kind of just dabbling in it. Like I mentioned before, I didn't necessarily plan on trading this ticker, but I actually wrote down yesterday, one of my goals was plan the trade and trade the plan. I'm sure you've heard of that one as well.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
So I was like, all right, there are going to be trades that show up intraday on the fly, but the thing is, I got to take out at least a couple seconds and take a mental note or write down what I want to do with the ticker before I enter. So I kind of did that real quick, and let's see if it comes in. But the VIX is. Look, I'm going to bring this chart right back in. Look at that. Beautiful 3-hour chart. This VIX has been holding this trend since Wednesday the 26th. So let's see if we catch a little bit of a bounce. Don't forget, this is a 3-hour chart, and there's still 2.5 hours for this candle to finish printing. Here is the prior bar break on multiple frames on NVIDIA. So let's see if the NASDAQ can break some of that consolidation low as well. We're coming into some of these moving averages. I see that if you're following the 8, that's broken. If you're following the 21, that's broken. If you're following the 50, we're coming right into that 50 moving average as well. So, okay, that's not a ticker. Sometimes when I type into the order book in terms of size, I type it into the ticker name, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, that's not a ticker. But TQ's coming in, and okay, you got short. No, you're getting long on the TQs.
I just bought VWAP
coming back into that
there.
Support area from before, right?
Correct.
All right, so NVIDIA all the way down to 115 from 116. So this is in and around that VWAP area. So let's see if we do catch a little bit of a bid. The trend is to the upside as of right now, but I like my reversions, and that tape was a little bit telling on the pullback off of that 117.
Get up.
So, oh boy.
Get up.
Here we go.
All right, we just loaded up on the futures right now, loaded up. So let's wait to see what happens on this one, man. I mean, I didn't even look at stocks. I just loaded this thing up. Bang! We are long a lot right now in these futures, man. Came right back to VWAP. And again, we're not trying to mess around. I said we're buying VWAP dips. That's we've been saying that all morning, and there it comes. It comes right into VWAP, and boom goes the dynamite. Oh boy, Obi. This is one of the bigger positions here that I've had on this name. So we are going to start to exit it out. And actually, on that note, we just got prices that we needed. We're out of half already of that futures trade. So it came right in right there. We bought that dip right into some support. It does go a little bit lower than us. We bought it at 80s. Well, that's where we're long, right? TQ's 80s, right? So we bought it at 80s. It does go into 67 there, into that level and holds, and then it rips city. So we get out of half, man. It comes right back. We get some out at VWAP at 90s, then some out at 62, then 62 20s, then 60, whatever that high, well, you can see my fills. I can tell you 62.22 is my highest fill. So we'll wait to see if that wants to get going. NVIDIA drips down. Again, my bid now is 112. What am I even doing? That's way low. That's from the beginning. I'm bidding 114.70, so we are bidding VWAP in this as well, if that can come in. So we're waiting for that. Apple, just in case you were wondering about that trade. Again, lightest position I have on. I was actually bidding 2025s. I hate when people say hand to God, but you can see the bid is in there right now. We just got missed. So if it comes back in, hopefully we'll get that bid. We were bidding there. So if it comes back in, then hopefully that will hit. NVIDIA, Apple, TQs. So that's that trade. What's going on with Palantir? We do have a bid on Palantir. I don't want to get too long on these things. So I'm waiting for Palantir down here at the 200 period. All right, only because I'm long everything else, including the market, and we don't need this to fall completely on our face. I'm actually going to get out of another piece right now at 94 on TQs because it's right back into that VWAP again. So, you know, we don't want to just celebrate when we have all these victories because it can fall down right away. So let's stay disciplined, let's stay humble, let's stay, you know, in the pocket where we need to be, and just, you know, take some out, talk about where we're getting them out at, and take advantage of some of these swings. So on that note, there we go. We take another offer there on NVIDIA and punch a little bit out right there. And now we'll just continue to work with it. Jamel there, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I've been so busy today. Hope all is well. Which one of the Qs is a better to buy? Which of the Qs is a better buy right now?
Last I heard, there's triple.
Right. I don't know exactly what is meant by that, Jamel, but
joking.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about you know, the Mag 7 or what strong stocks in the Qs, I mean, I think everyone just, you know, basically do your own research. I'm not going to say that Meta's the best or Google's the best or anything like that. I don't. You know, it depends on your
print 150.
You're short, yeah, it's a great call. It depends on your tolerance for risk, right? And so I would just say do the research. I like the NASDAQ. If you're nervous about the NASDAQ at all, buy the index then, and you don't have to pick a name. So that's what I would do with. All right, Apple's come in, man. If we break below 220, we're going to give this to 219.75. We said the market could fade out today in Obi. You've got that great short story there in NVIDIA, and there it is. There goes Apple. So here it goes. Now the market's down to VWAP. We are starting to get lower. We do get out of the TQs there. It does break. We talked about having half, but we're still down at, we're way below VWAP, sorry, on TQs. Looking for the 200 period. That's really what we're looking for right down there. So if it does come in, that's going to be a good position for us. NVIDIA is not really moving too much, but it has come back in. So watch out for VWAP there as well. But, you know, all is good. That's why you want to take some out when you get into those levels. But right now, the NASDAQ bouncing right there. So we could get more into the TQs at some point, maybe even now. Maybe that was a little bit of a panic out. All right, let's go back in 1 unit right now. Just 1 unit back on the TQs right here at 50. Well, SQQ, Jamal, and TQs are complete opposites. So again, one is a long, one is a short. So for me, I'm going long. So take that for what it's worth. What's up, Adara? Okay, don't go. Okay, we are not ready for Adara quite yet. All right, so the TQs is starting to work, and we still have that Apple against 219.75. So here we go, man. We're long Apple right now at 220.30. Let's see if that one can work. And it looks like the buyback on the TQs is going to work a little bit. So we'll get something out here as it's starting to pop just a little bit. Come on, Apple, you can really make my day here as well if we do get that turnaround. Also, NVIDIA bumping a little bit. We'll take some out on NVIDIA, and we'll watch out for our Apple trade. All right, Obi, what you got going over there?
Yeah, I'm just watching this. This tape on NVIDIA is actually like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to look for something comfortable. I'm going to look for something that's thick. And, you know, NVIDIA today, pretty liquid and moving aggressively, though. Definitely not very calm. So I'm staring this tape down a little bit here on NVIDIA. Wow, see, look at that. See, I did cover a decent chunk down there.
Let's go.
I was looking for VWAP to come in. Doesn't really come in there. Yeah, that bid coming right back in. So maybe we get back above 116s as of right now. But I'm watching a couple different time frames. Let's see if that selling kind of steps back in. Again, I'm going to continue showing this chart right here. So that's kind of what I'm following on the day today. In terms of the VIX. Let's see if we can make some lower highs, and the TQs kind of just chopping around. Sorry, not the TQs, the NASDAQ. Kind of chopping around. It's 19.7 as of right now. So
dude, Apple is
yeah, I'm going to take out most of this NVIDIA short and maybe look for a reload a little bit later, or just let it stop me out on this last chunk here as of right now. But the 19.7 consolidation, a little bit more chop. Let's see how my friend Intel is doing.
Ain't no friend of mine.
A little bit, okay, all right, 21 supply coming right back in, but that kind of, I guess I took that piece on NVIDIA, but question is, Sean,
is, what's up with Apple? Yeah, go ahead.
If I had taken the same move on Intel, would I have sized notionally similar than I did on NVIDIA? Probably not. I think I would have sized significantly more on this Intel trade.
There you go. So that's what we talk about all the time. I mean, some traders will disagree with me, but it's maybe because they don't trade size. Size is the most important, in my opinion, because we can all find the trade. It's how much risk do you put to that trade? How much risk do you put to it at the end of the day, right? I mean, because like I could be long, we're long Apple here at 220. I could be long 5,000 shares. I could be long 10,000 shares. I could be long 100 shares. How much risk do you decide to put into the trade that you like is what matters. But first you got to find the trade. Let's go to over there and see what there's news popping off.
We have a couple different small caps here. One of them's already given up a little bit of the move. That would be Nubaru. This is BURU. I'm going to pull that one up here because I have Tenaya up right now. But BURU, one of our penny stock names on watch here, announcing that they have their first acquisition step in defense and security sector completed. So acquisition news. TNYA was another penny stock here on watch. This one, no news for Tenaya Therapeutics. Already given up some of that push, but a 20% short float for this 62-cent name. Then we have DWTX, which I know that I believe is one that Sharif has been looking at over there on the small cap side of things, potentially, or one similar to it. Dogwood Therapeutics here on watch today as well. So a little bit larger, around $13, guys. Back to you.
Thank you.
Putin likely to agree to truce, I just heard in my ear right now, but under his terms, of course. But don't worry, we got the deal maker in the building. He'll figure that one out. But here comes NVIDIA. Obi, we're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. And, you know, most of it is because of this Apple trade. I didn't get anything out up here at 60, but that's where it stopped. So we're going to take advantage of that now as it comes back in. And honestly, man, it was just believing in that 220 level for Apple. We layered into it. We got it, man. And there it goes. Thank you so much, Randy, right there. What a day, Randy. This has been absolutely wild talk. Because you're here, we haven't seen Tesla yet, so let's do a little look on this. Not bad, up 7% there, Randy. Maybe you got your order in there for the plaid, but there it goes. It's a nice move back up to the upside, 246 and change, trying to get going. It's high. Wow, Obi, did you notice this? 252. We actually cracked.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Did you mention that?
No, I said 250 over
under.
We
talked about it earlier today. Yeah, but
right?
There it goes, Randy. A nice move to the upside right there. Bounce back day is right. But again, with all these headlines coming through, you never know what's going to hit, man. And right now, Hitman, filled in at the end of this.
Hitman Reborn.
Something, Hitman, something. Brett. Hart. There it is, Brett the Hitman Hart. So we'll say shout out to Canada. I know you had no idea about that one, Obi. Yeah. But there it is, Brett the Hitman Hart there. And of course, Obi, you know the tag team that he had. Obi?
Sorry?
Brett the Hitman Hart's tag team was called? The Hart Foundation, man. Jim the Anvil Knight.
I was just about to say that.
I know, I'm just playing around. Obi is Yay Sports. And cheers to everybody else out there as well. Obi?
Yes.
Cheers to the green tea. Are we allowed to do that? Remember, both of these drinks are 95% water, and yours is 100% water pretty much, right?
I'm sure there's some OH groups in there.
Okay, good. So, cheers. I mean, last time we cheers water.
Yeah, I wasn't very lucky the next day. Let's just say that.
But at the time, you know, it's not about the next day.
No, I mean,
now you're cherry picking.
It carries over.
Now you're cherry picking, you know.
It's like the luck takes some time to come in.
Exactly.
You know?
So, you know, let it come in, my guy.
Yeah.
Let it come in. You know, lucky today. You've had some. I mean, we've had some bangers on there today.
Questionable, but yes.
Yeah, coffee's also 99% water. Yeah,
maybe
even more than that.
There goes the TQs down. Oh boy.
The market is moving.
NVIDIA going to get to its view up down at 114.38 now? So a little bit of a volatility crush? No, a candy crush.
Yeah, for sure.
No, a little bit of a pop on the VIX right there. 26.05s on the VIX. So respecting the trend we've been holding for a few days there on the volatility index. Hello.
I'm long. I just
market
long.
Just gave up that 19.7, and we're coming down into 5.6s on the ES here. I don't know what that means, but it seems like some of these shorts are definitely coming in here as of right now. I thought they were going to be shorts, and I was like, oh boy, I like that. And these shorts are a little bit longer.
Slow down, Obi.
Than, they're lasting.
I know you're going to Miami, my guy. You're going to see a couple of that over there.
Oh, boy.
For now, just worry about trading, and then you worry about those shorts in a couple of days. Okay, so we went long the NASDAQ down there. I don't know if it's going to be right. I'm just going to go long against the 200-period moving average. Breaking through 61. Like I said, we're not here for a long time. We're just here for a good time. And if this gets through, then that time is no longer a jam for me. We are underneath VWAP. We are underneath the 50-period moving average, and soon to be, there it is, fail on the futures. We'll go red on the futures right there. So that's going to be a red stock. We're still at our daily goal, but we did give some back. We were at 2x there when this happened, yeah, no longer there. All right, so great trading there for NVIDIA for you as well. You obviously have that short on as well, as here comes NVIDIA right into these levels. So I'm just kind of looking at these pre-market breaks. If we break 114 right there, then we're gone. So we can sit in here. It's been a great day. We're completely fine with everything. We are still in that club, though. Where's Ozan? What up, Ozan? It's still Apple's world, and we're all living in it right now. At least I am. Oh, gosh. The bear of all bigs has just come in. It is Mr. Big Bear AI. That just came in. This has been dropping. You stupid stock. All right, so we're long Big Bear AI right now against 325. We talked about liking this into that pre-market level. We were super patient with it. I'm only going to, because this is going to the downside, I'm not going to give back, what we've made on other names that we've really focused on today. I'm not going to layer into this. This was just a plan of action back into this level. So we'll take it. If we break right here, if we break 315, let's go a little bit lower. Yeah, we break 315, 310, we're out of this. This is 15 cents worth of risk. If we can get something back up here and take 10, we'll do some of that. We'll get out of like half of it for 10 cents if we can, and we'll wait for some downside pressure there on BBAI. The name that's really been working, of course, has been Apple. I can't believe I'm going to get another piece out here on Apple. I really don't have a choice. It's really starting to go, guys. All right, so the TQs cracks us, and then it's right back up. So, all right, we'll leave that alone, and we'll see if we can get some love somewhere else, Obi, because right now the futures are not really moving that well. Sebastian wrote down Neo in the chat, and he also put this down on, this is what happens when you participate in this. Sebastian earlier today on my ask about what we're all trading, and I want to see how many people viewed this thing, but Sebastian definitely did. He wrote down Neo, so 1,600 views. There it is, Sebastian. You were looking at Neo, and bang. Congratulations on that one. If you were, I'm assuming you're looking long. There it goes. Great call, Sebastian. We give you props for that. Great call, Mr. Sebastian. And oh gosh, Obi.
Oh boy.
It's NVIDIA time, baby. There it goes, man. I know you have it the other way, but we're in this name right now. We're 70 cents in the money. We're going to take a piece out. Look at that reload. Look where we reloaded. Oh, let me just check what the plan of action was. Oh, yeah, take everything long at VWAP. Okay. So there's NVIDIA there. We can basically just write an algo to do this every day, and then I just sit here and comment on positions that fill, but that's pretty much what we're doing, man. We've got $1.50 in the money on Apple. We now have an amazing 5 cents on Big Bear AI. We have 90 cents, now 75 cents on NVIDIA. So if we can get that back going to the upside, let's go on that. And the TQs, man, we're slightly red on it. I hate to tell you that, but it just took us out, man, at that bottom. You can't hold it forever. And that's exactly what we did do there, was get out, so that we don't have that huge L if things go awry. Apple, more outs right there, Obi. I still think I'm hoping that we're both winning on this NVIDIA trade. NVIDIA is going to be a top stock for me today, and I'm sure it is for you as well. So, all right, there it is. We're getting that out, and we have a new position alert right now. So let's go on that one. It's Palantir just came in to 81.55, and oh boy, there it comes in right there. We'll see if we could take 30 cents immediately on this play. Oh, we just missed our 75. Give us those 75s. There it is. Give us that 82. We are now long on Palantir, everybody. So, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Like, what world are we living in right now? There goes Palantir. We just put the bid in, and we instantly get that 40 cents. So, so far, so good, man. Yeah.
No, I think so far this market's given us opportunities going both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
Right off of the open, the nice strong longs, and then some of these things I'm looking. I just want to cover some of the Mag 7 here as of right now, because there is some distinctly different action that is coming in. NVIDIA is one of the only few names that's really kind of bidding up. I know that you've been involved in Apple as well, and we've been seeing a little bit of a bid on that Apple.
My.
But oh boy, I'm looking at Softy, Google, and Amazon, and especially I'm having a look at the goggles over here as it trades below VWAP. Look at this distinct selling that's coming in right here. Very clean. This is a 1 minute chart now.
Look at Palantir.
Oh boy, is that a bid? That TQ is bidding pretty hard there. But yeah, no, I'm looking at this this sell-off on Google. Very, very clean and clear to the downside, just holding trend pretty well. So let's see if this trend breaks at any moment and then catches on to the market also bidding as well. But we will take a look at Softy and Amazon after we get back from Madeira with Happening Now.
BB.
This market here really not looking what we might have thought it would once we got those numbers at 8:30 a.m. Each one of the CPI prints, so CPI, month over month and year over year, and also the core CPI, all came in 0.1% lower than expected, which is what we were looking for. It's what the market wanted. Initially getting this push up here in the market and then falling a little bit before as well, but certainly off the open. Tesla, it seems like Tesla's still strong, but the NASDAQ here went from up, I believe, over 2% at its highs, now up only 1%, but still strong. We also have on watch here Bloomberg reporting that Canada is looking to unveil some retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. We know this has already been in talks as well. So tariff talks still on watch, geopolitical talks still on watch, Intel on watch as well, along with a lot of these semiconductors, including TSMC here basically proposing a joint venture with NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom, according to Reuters, with the goal of operating Intel's factories. Then we have TSLA on watch. A lot of different catalysts for this one. Donald Trump here, President Donald Trump buying a Tesla vehicle. We also have with TSLA the fact that Elon Musk said they're looking to double their U.S. production over the next 2 years. Nuclear's been on watch here as well. RGTI and some of these names pushing into the open and then falling to the downside. So just be aware here. Even names that look strong are giving back a lot of that move there. There's a lot of small caps running around, guys. Back to you.
I mean, like, Obi and I just sitting here, thanks to Dara for all that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many small caps. We're in Big Bear AI. That does go for us 7 cents. I didn't take any yet. We just actually got a little piece out just now. But Palantir there.
Just adjusting the...
Okay, thanks, Obi, for doing that. Just Palantir rips up like crazy there and goes virtually, it does go 90 cents. We don't have that top. We get a lot out there at 82, but it's coming back in a little bit here. So just as Adara mentioned there, you know, you got to watch out. Some of these names are pulling back just a little bit. I'm going to use now just because we're like in protection mode because we're all long. I'm long right now. If we lose 81, I'm out of Palantir. So we'll put another bid. Actually, I'm bidding 81.11s, so we just missed that. We'll see if that comes in, and then we'll get out like at 80, a little bit of a lower take there. Okay, well, scratch that. A little bit of a face. Oh, what?
Yeah, look at that bid.
What? All right, dollar in the money right now, Apple. Dollar in the money now, NVIDIA as well, as that's going. 90 cents in the money on Palantir. I don't know what just happened again there, Obi, but oh boy, we're going to the upside. Let's take advantage of these moves higher. So yeah, we didn't take advantage of that on NVIDIA there, but we will. We're sitting here on the offer. Let me take some out right here at 40 if we can. We put an offer there. Give us that. There it is. Yeah, we should get that 40 there. Yes, we did. So now all right, Canada talking about having a day-to-day fight, but they're looking for managing tariffs. Same old stuff. I just pause when I hear something in my ear, just tell you what I hear, and then Adara will confirm if it's anything major coming through. There's Big Bear AI, man. I told you we got a little bit there. We only got 32s. So unfortunately, we have to wait for Big Bear AI to get going there. Apple does make that move back. I'm going to wait for Apple, man. 221.40s is where I'm going to sit for Apple. I just want to make sure I do. Yeah, I do. I have a 221.50. So if it can get back up there, we'll try it. 50 is fine. No, let's go a little bit. Yeah, whatever. Hopefully it rips up. I'm not going to get too specific with all of that. There goes Palantir, by the way. So now Palantir is officially a dollar winner. Huge, much more than a dollar winner. Now $1.25 now in the money for Sir Alex Karp and company. That 12 billion fortune getting a little higher right now. There it goes, man. So we've had Apple with a dollar winner, NVIDIA with a dollar winner, Palantir with a dollar winner, and the TQs, unfortunately, we are now out of Obi. If we were in the TQs, man, right now, I would just shut my computer off, go do some laps, come back, and see what's going on. But right now, we are starting to moon. We're at our highest spot again right now that I've been at P&L-wise all day. And again, part of that is because of what we just saw in Palantir. Palantir just came in, gave me that 81.50 bid. If you guys liked it, you could have taken it again right there. There's the out. outs up there at VWAP. Let's go. We really like this, man. This has been so good as we go. Sean, go for a walk. Yeah, man. That's what we probably should do. You learned from your boy, Tony. What's up, Tony? I don't know who that is, but let's keep going. Yeah, we used to do that walk and talk about stock there.
Now I'm going
do it every now and then. I'm going swimming, so I don't do the walk and talks anymore. But yeah, we do understand that, getting some relief from this. I mean, sitting here, like I've traded thousands of shares already today. The amount of trades, I have over 90 fills already. So, it does get a little bit intense on this side. Okay, man, there goes NVIDIA, dude. I know you're short and I hate talking against you, but we're now $1.40 in the money on the long. And I mean, anybody, including yourself, we all had opportunities to play this VWAP. I really like that level. Some of us will look at different things. So for me, let's go. We'll get some more out at the top here at 116. That's always been the plan of action today. Scalp some out, sit back, relax. We don't have a negative day in a little bit here, and we're pretty happy with what we're doing. Obi, these are all new positions. We're sitting on $4. Apple $1 right now. Big Bear AI 5 cents. NVIDIA $1, Palantir $1.50. So it's pretty good, man. I really like the TQ's position, and I really sucky at trading.
And the volatility is absolutely wild. I was just messaging in the chat there. These wipes that are coming into the market both ways, to the downside and then back up. It's the wash is absolutely crazy here. But I'm patiently watching. Again, I did well to cover majority of the position here down at that VWAP that I was looking for. We couldn't quite get too far past those 15 halves. So I'm like, all right, well, got to respect that. Bigger picture, are we going to trend on the upside on a lower than expected CPI? Maybe, potentially. We did kind of show signs of that in the pre-market. We're pulling back and still holding some of those reference lows. So yeah, I'm just asking, are we still trending up? Here on the 15-minute chart on NVIDIA, we are holding quite well. So the chart looks distinctly different on a higher time frame. You can look at NVIDIA here on a 3-minute chart, and you can see that, a little bit of a chop, but pulled back and held VWAP pretty well, and then now we're pushing back towards that 116 area here. Some strong, I guess I saw a bit of a tape turn here, just back through that 16, couldn't really get to 117s there. But yeah, bigger picture, we could just be continuing. But taking a look at that 15-minute chart, you can see we're holding up quite well, even through that CPI move. So yeah, I'm probably going to get stopped out here on that on my last bit of NVIDIA, but I'm going to give the last little bit to the stop I initially intended on it, just to give it that room. Again, pretty much a trail insignificant size, like I said, to begin the trade, I had nowhere near what I should have on this trade. So it was a good rep, putting in some meaningful reps, maybe not with the size that the ticker or the trade deserved, but it is what it is. I am going to move on to the next trade and maybe do a little bit better there. But Tesla, oh boy, we were talking about that 250. Guess what's holding on Tesla, Sean? Tesla is holding VWAP like a champ. So let's throw that indicator up there, right there. So there we go. Another similar story. Pulls back. This one a little bit cleaner hold of that VWAP, also confluencing with some pre-market consolidation highs here post CPI. So I mean, we made a little bit of highs there at that 245, got a little choppy before the open, and then pulls back into VWAP by about 957, holding that level for another push back into 250. So I'm gonna, I kind of want to watch this tape here on 250 when it comes to Tesla. So let me pull that up right here and pull it up for you guys as well. I gotta change two books. But yeah, 250 right here, incoming, but already made an opening range high or a morning session high there at that just shy of 252 here on Tesla. So we're getting that strong continuation off of that strong consolidation and lick grab of that 220, and then push up this morning, and then we got some tailwind, we got CPI as well, so we were getting a bit of relief there after some strong weeks of selling here on Tesla. Let's take a look at Google. Google I was watching as well, like I mentioned earlier, Google right here. So we did kind of break this downtrend. Let me get these out of the way. So we did kind of break that downtrend On Google, we were looking at the 1 minute chart here. So again, just to kind of reiterate, this is kind of what I was looking at. And oh boy, I was not paying attention to this, but a little bit of a line from the past, 167.30 that did show up. I did look at this a little bit later, but again, kind of missed that. I guess an old support and resistance level came in on the opening range high and acted as a resistance for the pullback in. But yeah, look at that nice little break of trend here and pushing back up into VWAP. Let's see if we can get back into VWAP. I definitely missed the entry here, but the RR a little bit skewed. Probability a little bit higher than maybe 50% there on the trend break. But let's see if that can potentially give us VWAP. As of right now, oh boy, this is back down to 115s. This is the shake and bake I'm talking about. The volatility in this market is wild. And I think, again, VIX is exactly there. We still got 2 hours left for this candle to print on the VIX, but it's still holding well within what it has been doing over the past few days. So that's kind of what I'm looking for it to do. What is the chart telling me? And is it still doing that? Is it still holding? And is price action kind of confluencing with the setup to give me that bit of confidence in the trade? So I think that is a resounding yes as of right now when it comes to both NVIDIA and the VIX and the market as well. So let's take a quick look at some of these in-play stocks that I had watching, part of my watch list this morning. We had a bit of Novo Nordisk. So you know what, I'm gonna pull up the chart so you guys can watch alongside. So NVO, I think they had a miss on one of their trials today. So let's go up to a 3 minute chart. So in the pre-market session, we can see that strong selling that did come in. Look at that RVOL, absolutely beautiful, almost 11 times RVOL in the pre-market, but off the open, not really doing too much, so I didn't really touch it. iRobot, we were talking about IRBT. IRBT had earnings this morning and still holding that VWAP. Oh boy, that's some significant volume that came in on this breakdown. Look at that, highest volume candle on the day on a 3 minute chart comes in at 10:09, holding this trend. So gap down. Let's see if there's sellers on board here. I'm pretty sure this is on SSR. Yeah, down 36%. Yeah. I didn't even see the prices there. It's a $4 ticker, but yeah, iRobot here. Groupon is working as well. A little bit of a gap up continuation happening on Groupon. It was doing lackluster volume in the after hours and the pre-market session, but again, throwing that anchored VWAP on, we're way above that. So maybe the intraday VWAP is more of is a better indicator to kind of follow because it's respecting it. That's the only thing that I'm seeing there. eHang as well. They had earnings, a little bit of a gap up on that one. But guess what? A little bit of a breakdown of what seems to have been a bit of a level at that 24 area. You can see off of the earnings report, we kind of push up here and kind of hold on the bid multiple times. Even in the low volume period of pre-market, this is a held bid that shows up, and then right off the open, boom, slams through that 24 and gets right down into 21. Not only that, you go down to a shorter time frame, we're holding underneath, look at that consolidation underneath VWAP, right in and around that 24. So you're like, all right, flush down to 24. That held bid is still there. Maybe you get long. Maybe you saw that information in the pre-market. Maybe you get long off the 24, but guess what? VWAP attempts, pushes back in, holds as a resistance, breaks down the consolidation low, also opening range low on the 3 minute chart as well. Maybe not the 5, because the 5 minute opening range low would be here, down below 2370s. But yeah, wow, that's coming in. All right, so there's my VWAP cover that I was looking for earlier on NVIDIA, coming in real hot. Oh boy, almost 2 points on this one, Sean, and I have almost nothing left. But yeah, eHang, beautiful continuation there, and the market is doing what the VIX already told us this morning. So that's a good look there. Let's see what else is working. Intel again. Intel, we kind of were watching that in the morning session. That's probably coming down to its low. So VWAP sellers, oh boy. So VWAP still holding as a little bit of resistance on Intel. So let me know in the chat, what are you guys watching? I know that I'm looking at, I usually tend to look at similar tickers. I have a morning watch list here. Today was a little bit lackluster on my morning watch list. I didn't really put in that many instructions or specificity in terms of what I want to do with some of these tickers here. So I put at the morning, I said VIX at the level at 7:30 a.m. and I was like, okay, look for midday continuations if holding VWAP, and then the CPI came in at 2.8%, much lower versus expected. And my watch list, I just had iRobot, eHang, Groupon, and Intel. And then, yeah, I did kind of take a mental note of some other ones, like I said before. TQs, when the CPI came in, we were involved in a little bit of that. I was like, all right, well, I pulled up my chart, and I was like, all right, maybe a little bit of a support resistance level here, and then relative to what the VIX might be doing as well. Took some scalps on that one. And then NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA totally not planned, but totally not planned in the morning, but I did look at it and I'm like, all right, in this moment, going through 15, this is my risk. I want to take inventory through 15 or into 15 on the 15 break because I think this is very strong and we have that market tailwind. That came in absolutely beautifully, but then a bit of a failure to follow through as that bid dissipates, almost stalls at that 116 halves. And I'm like, all right, well, if buyers are going to step off that aggressively and sellers are going to step right in, I want to be a seller as well. Kind of working out pretty well as of right now. We've only made lower highs, a little bit of a lick grab of that 116. So if you got long on that VWAP, it gave you that. I think that was more than valid for the continuation. But then it false breaks that 116, showing you that sellers are willing to step back in at lower prices. So kind of keeping that in mind, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to keep my stop where it is, even if it's an insignificant trail position. I have to put in the meaningful rep to take the trade for what it's worth. So I think I did well doing that. Sizing, we can worry about that in the future. So that's all I got going on right here, Sean. So
yeah,
nothing too crazy
tomorrow,
on the watch list.
Great trade there on the short for sure, and good talk about that. Yeah, that's why we emptied out the clip a lot at some of these levels, right? We just bought a little bit here and got a little bit out. I mean, if this breaks 114, then we'll take a 25-cent hit right now on NVIDIA on about 2 or 3 units or so. Like we're going to stay, there it is. So we'll stay positive. NVIDIA is still a good name for us, but there it is, the short coming in again. And we did the same kind of damage there on Apple, where we haven't reloaded anything. We got out. We're letting this market figure itself out. We talked about pops and fades, and right now you're coming right back in. So we were like, wow, the TQs, but they're right back into these lows as well. So how low can you go? Our out on Apple is still a break of this 220. So we're getting out of everything. We pretty much have all these outs already. So for Apple down here right now, let's just try a bid. We're down here at $200. 200. Oh man, hopefully that's not an omen. 220 down there. We're going to give it to 119.75. If it breaks that, then we're going to get out, right? I mean, that's the plan. We did just reload a little bit down there. What was our price? 22.09. So here we go, Obi. There's the play. So there's the playbook, man. Scalp it out once it comes back in, and there it is, man. We're just going to take some more out. And so that's what we're doing. We're trying to play a little bit. You talked about share size. I'm putting on a little bit bigger size at these levels because we've just come in. So if this wants to float up, man, 20 cents, we'll just scalp some out. And that's what we're doing. So we actually just got out of half of that little bottom scalp there because we know that this trade and, the longs are in danger down here. So we'll wait. We're back down into the day's low. We'll average that position back in and then get it out. If we do break lower, remember where our stop is, 219.75. That's 25 cents. This is already a 25-cent winner. So we might as well, sorry, we're long at 09. So now it's a 30-cent winner. So let's take out another piece right here and then hold for that bigger move up. I mean, this is what we're trying to do is, play. There we go. We just got some 40s. So now we're going to the upside on this reloaded position, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. No idea. We did not reload Palantir though, again, because I don't want to go long on everything and then just get smoked. Like you got to make the right decisions at the right time. So here we go. We'll get something out here at 40 if we can on Palantir. Did we just miss that? Yes, we did. So let's wait. I don't want to get this price. Let's see if we get 28s. There it is. Okay, so we get those 28s. So now we just got out there on Palantir at the 200 period moving average. We only have 5% left of our position. Sorry, 10% left of our position. And we only have one fill there on Palantir. I don't know if I like these longs too much anymore. NVIDIA does come out, but look what happens, man.
Boom.
I don't even know what to say.
Nice little pop.
Like there's us getting out. There's it popping up $1. This happens to us.
I saw that happen. I was like, this was prior VWAP. comes in and catches beta in and
Right
out
at our
there.
level too, man. So we got stopped out there. We could have got a little greedier or a little bit. I just didn't want to hold this in case the market fell in. I mean, I could see we're still at our daily goal. It's fine, but we did give some back because that right there, that kind of sucks right there. But okay, we'll just deal with it. The market's still in limbo right now. It's not, we said that. Remember, you'd open your eyes, close your eyes. Like we just went right back into where we were pre-CPI, right here. Like that was that bottom again. We should have just gone along the cues and just forgot about NVIDIA. But okay, let's go back over. We're ready with Adara at the big screen. There.
This is the IWM here, much like the rest of the market, pushing to the upside, then propelling lower. But it's worth noting here, if you look at the 15-minute chart, we've done a bit of a double bottom, if you will, over the last couple of days at that $200 level support or thereabouts, just below. So looks like we could be forming some support on the rate-sensitive Russell 2000. Always one to watch when we have numbers. The strongest small cap that I could see this morning is by far Servomed, CRVO. On Monday, they announced some positive trial results. On Tuesday, they get a price target increase here from Roth MKM. No news today, but about an 18% short float, I believe. Then we have TNYA. This is Tenaya Therapeutics. 20% short float, no catalyst for this one. It is also a penny stock. And last but not least, here we have CXM. This one just starting to move. Sprinkler here with about 1 million in volume traded so far in terms of shares. It also has about a 10% short float, announcing earnings this morning, stronger than expected guidance as well for fiscal 2026. So this is CXM, a couple small caps on watch today, but CRVO definitely looking to be the strongest right now, guys. Back to you.
Okay.
VO, okay. Sprinkle some on Sprinkler there. Apple breaks. So we'll stop a fail on that last little reload, but again, like pretty happy with it. I mean, we would have liked to get short, but the fact that we were able to empty out there and then get that reload and then lose on the reload, I'm going to try to go long against 219.50 if it does come back in again, just because we've seen this move down, but the sellers are still here. It's nice to see the NASDAQ up 1.2% for sure. You know what name's been getting killed, and you mentioned this to me as well, was Alphabet.
Oh,
Whoopsies,
yeah.
GOGTL. Yeah, we got to go to the NQ here, not Blue Ocean. But here we go. Google right now, .NQ coming into play again. Still up 50, up 0.5%. But wow, we haven't caught too much of a bid. Sure, look at that. Like, I heard that Joe was mentioning this as well. Sometimes you get these looks where you just wicked all the way down there, and that gave you potentially like a little bit of an exhaustion candle to the downside. But the thing is, now that I look at this, it's not coming with any volume. So that's not the greatest look there, but that is a look. So if there was a little bit more volume there, then I would have maybe thought that could have been a bottom there for Google. All right, so we just tried Apple again, and it came in and came out. Again, we're trying to catch bottoms, but oops, that's not Apple, that's still Google. But look at Apple now. Oh boy, really coming in now. So we tried it one more time there, 219.60 out 219.40, which is right here right now. So another fail on the reload of Apple. So yeah, some of these longs not working down at these levels. And why are we even looking long at this point when the market is underneath the 50, underneath VWAP? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we've just bounced off here a couple times. So if it's going to work, it's going to work at these levels. And if not, then you can get out and really just regroup. So Apple down here at 219, that has been the bottom. I don't necessarily want this stock anymore. You are pretty red on this name. Let's move off of Apple. We keep the green day on Apple there, so we'll spend the money on Apple. We gave some back. Definitely not as good as it was earlier, but hey, the market is the market, and it did get faded there, so we gotta respect that and potentially stay away. Okay, we got out more Palantir. I now have 5% left, so I'm actually gonna put this out. If we break this 80, whatever that bottom is right there, I just don't want to be in the longs anymore, especially if we do take those out. 81.35. So I'm gonna put that stop in right now. 81. Let's go 25s. If it breaks that 81.24, we're out. We do not want to bleed away profits at this point. So even though we only have 5%, I'm still going to tap out right there because 5% left holding in $1, at some point it adds up, right? So you got to be responsible with that. I am being responsible with Big Bear. If Big Bear takes 320, we're out. It's not moving, obviously, so we're going to take that as an out if that does come through. Let's check out SMCI just real quick here. That's showing up on the scanner, brought to you by eSignal. All right, so SMCI again, like, right back into day's low. Why didn't we take the TQs? That's what I meant to do down there. I don't even know why we didn't do that right there. So, okay, you just got filled on something you said?
No, Tesla came back into its VWAP, and I'm like, all right, we've been holding VWAP since the open, so it's clear that there's a little bit of buying here on VWAP. I post an order at 240, 245.50s, and the bid is sitting at 51, and then it just jumps back up above 246. So I'm like, all right, oh boy. Don't really want to chase a whole dollar above where I was trying to get in, but VWAP holding on Tesla as of right now, I think it's definitely a little bit of a scalping opportunity at the very least, but with the market taking a little bit of a turn, that's all I was really trying to do. I was like, all right, well, let me see if I can catch a quick little scalp on this and see if it does hold 246s, how much further it can go. But it kind of did that right there, and the market's pulling right back in. NVIDIA holding below VWAP. Now Apple through its day low. Softy, surprisingly enough, holding its lows from its past three 15-minute bars. So 3 15-minute bars, the similar kind of lows in and around 379.40s on Softy. So that's holding up pretty well. So let's see if that can bring us in for more of a bid. Tesla still holding that VWAP. So okay, so we're Tesla's 247 now, so almost 2 points up off of that VWAP, almost 2 points. But yeah, I'm going to continue watching this market. Oh boy, a lot of opportunity to go around, both long and short. So let us know in the chat, what have you guys been trading? People asking about some tickers there, so I can take a quick look at that. Can you look at AAL saying Oslam? Okay, we'll take a quick look at AAL as well. So let's see what this one is doing. I know this one was moving around a little bit yesterday. Wow, look at that. Look at that, Sean. Absolutely wild. So
yeah, I know. I saw the airlines.
Selling.
Remember there was the new bag checking rules.
Is that why?
I don't know. It wasn't American. It was somewhere. Southwest.
Okay, so
yeah.
Southwest.
And I think there was
Love
even somebody else the other day as well, because I feel like, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Southwest is selling off a lot more.
There we go. Yeah,
than that AAL. So maybe this one leading the pack here with that with a potential catalyst. Nice sideways consolidation. Look at that. That's definitely something right here. We consolidated pretty much sideways in a beautiful range for 4 hours yesterday, and that consolidation range low break came in right off of the open, Sean, and guess what? You missed that trade. Look at the bid, where that stops. That support from yesterday turns into resistance, and look at that selling. Beautiful, consistent selling right off of that level, all the way from 34.30s for a 3% pullback, 3.4% pullback, all the way down to the day lows. Sure, you're not holding that whole chunk, but that's kind of the move that it did. What's up, Adara?
Just keep an eye. Yeah, so I just wanted to, recap really the airline stories from yesterday. So there were two. Sean is correct. One of them was Delta, which sold off yesterday and sold off all day today as well, or so far anyway. Basically, Delta here yesterday lowering their guidance for going forward. Then we had Southwest, which, as Sean mentioned there, yesterday announcing that they're going to be changing some of their baggage policies, and also they're going to be accelerating their buyback program. So those are the headline. With the airlines being recapped really quickly, again, both day two movers. Also, Tesla may be on watch here. Carson Block, a notable investor here and leader of Muddy Waters Research, saying that it's still hard to bet against Elon Musk and look elsewhere. So Carson Block speaking positively here about TSLA or Elon and Tesla as it sits at this 245 level. Guys, back to you.
Exactly. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, we were just going back and forth there about Tesla and the move that happened. But let's go, man. Let's spin it one more time. All right. So it's a good trade here. It looks like, anyways, for us on our friend Palantir. We just got some more out there at 82.50 at the 200 period, at the 50 period moving average. So now we'll keep that stop in. But if we were willing to stop out there, we have to take profit when it does go for us that 90 cents. So we're going to take that profit, put that in our pocket, and watch out for it. We do have a new position though. Shout out to Joseph over there because he likes his stock. Amazon, I think we all like it. But again,
never heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it either. I mean, I was debating getting a subscription. I think they deliver random things to houses. I don't know if there's anything happening on Amazon or not, but no. So I'm just going to try to play off this bottom 198. I mean, it looks like it might be okay. Thing is, trend is definitely to the downside. I like the TQs down here at 61 right now. So if this can come into 61, we've just missed it. That we should have already been long right there. So crude out right now as well, and we can check that out. But for right now, it's a crypto moment. We haven't really looked at it. It's 82.6 right now. Crypto's falling back in. Let's go get the stories from Adara.
It's hard to find bullishness in this crypto chart, excuse me, still with Bitcoin having that rounded top, also now having these lower highs, lower lows, starting, I would say, here with this February 21 or 21st, 22nd high just below 100,000 and then making lower highs since. We have not had a break above 100,000 since early February. So it's been almost a month now that we've been below that level. Now, to be fair here, the last 3 days, we've clearly tried to break out of the 84,000 level, and we've held some support here around 77K, but we'll have to see if that support can sustain. It's worth noting here, we've now apparently had 1 full week of consecutive withdrawals here for Bitcoin ETFs, so outflows of $371 million for these BTC ETF outflows on March 11th alone. Ethereum here, 22 million in net outflows on as of yesterday, which is now a 5-day outflow streak. So lots of weakness here with these crypto plays. Keep an eye as well as some of these other crypto names. For now, though, we're going to go back to you guys. This is BTC USD.
You see it on the futures, absolutely wild there. We're just talking about some of this action happening across the board while I'm eating this fruit bowl here, Sean. So.
Oh boy.
Would you look at that? So yesterday and the day before, we had pretty much a very red fruit bowl, but now we got some greens in there as well. So maybe the fruit bowl indicator is telling us about the choppiness in the market. We're getting both wipes to the upside, a little bit of green, and strong wipes to the downside as well, a little bit of red. You know, there's some analysis for you there on,
there's a huge sell-off
on the market.
happening right
the fruit
now.
bowl indicator. Let me know in the chat if you guys like that as well. This market's coming in real hot with sellers stepping in pretty aggressively, and I'm just gonna bring this right back in here, Sean.
Yes, let's go.
It's an hour, 30 minutes left on this 3 minute, nice 3 hour bar on the VIX to print, and the VIX is holding very strong. So the VIX, once again, VIX don't lie. Chart don't lie.
Oh gosh.
And
97.50 is coming in a little bit better than I thought here.
This market is, we're coming in right here. So maybe, you know what I'm asking? Sunray saying, don't eat the green grapes. Okay. So I'm looking for the next trade. I kind of did not take any sort of continuation, so maybe that's a little bit something that I can improve on, being like, all right, if you're in a position that's working, look for the next trade in that same direction for the continuation trade. And I think on NVIDIA, the false break of 116 was definitely a little bit, and I was watching it here at 115s, as it kind of rejected that. It comes back into VWAP and it kind of rejects it. Now this VWAP is a little bit different than some other VWAPs as well, because you can the P-Pro VWAP has uses I think, I wouldn't say a different set of data, but it doesn't have the data from like 4 a.m. So I don't know, but I give it some precedence sometimes. Sometimes you do see some action holding against that. But you can see here on TradingView, the VWAP is at 14 halves. Here on P-Pro, the VWAP sitting in and around that 15. And so, it's that area, right? It's that area. It's not necessarily a specific kind of thing, but comes in, makes a lower high in and around 115. Even if you're not even looking at VWAP because you're like, I don't want any lines on my chart, you're seeing that lower high at that 115. So definitely places to get more for the continuation trade after I see sellers stepping in right off of the open there. And that 116, that 115, definitely interesting. Let's see this consolidation low from CPI. If we can get into here or even into 113, only about 70 pennies away, Sean. And if this quadunks, I was talking about that 19.5, it seems like reversion to the 19.5 is still on the table.
19 on the NASDAQ.
Oh yeah, 19.5 on the NASDAQ. So 19,500 on the NASDAQ. A little bit of a magnet we saw yesterday. A little bit of a consolidation, reversion to the mean. I was saying return of the MAC.
Return to sender.
113s. Let's see if that kind of comes in here. 115s. I think we're definitely going to be a little bit poised for that 115 as the market quadunks. But this little consolidation in the pre-market right here, just above that 115, might be interesting as well. But other than that, throw it up in the chat what you guys are trading today. I know we were looking at AAPL earlier, so I want to see what else you guys are talking about. Pro Day Trader saying Tesla long short, get the cash. Yes. Do you mean long short? Like that sounds like a wash trade, but long short, long and short. I think that's what you mean right there on Tesla. Tesla's definitely holding that VWAP pretty well here, or was. was holding that VWAP pretty well. This is what I was talking about. I was looking for that quick little scalp back up. But yeah, sellers definitely now really showing us who's in charge. Maybe some confirmation of sellers coming in here. But confirmation might be a little too late for me. What's up, Adara?
It's what's up, Sean, my
Oh,
guy
sorry.
over here. So yeah, we do have to talk about the e-signal today. And again, traders, listen up. It's your first month. It's free. That's right. The fees have been waived for your e-signal. Get in there. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience with e-signal. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. They have infinite data, instant trading. You can chart over 500 symbols at once. Can you believe that? You can also scan for that many. 500 symbols. I mean, Obi, that's a lot. You probably don't need that much. Lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts. Again, back testing. It's what it's all about for us around here as well. Make sure you check out all the different tick charts, minute chart. They even have a 1-second chart on any of those names as well. Global markets at your fingertips. No more important time to look at the global markets than right now. And e-signal, of course, being entitlement-based, you can check all of that out real easy and real quick with e-signal. So don't forget to scan your QR code right there. There's the scans on the screen, some that we use here daily. So definitely check that out. All right, so as that's been going, obviously the longs that we've had have come out. We're still here on the TQs. We're able to take a little bit of an advantage there on that pop-up, but we've averaged it in. Right now, our average price is 60, 67, so we're out about 20 handles right now. I'm going to try to play it off that bottom. The stop rate here is coming in at 39s. So, are we going to bounce off of that? I'm not really seeing any capitulated bottoms here. I mean, it's definitely not a bottom. The NASDAQ's still up on the day. So, until we get scared, we got to flush a lot more than that. So, we'll wait to see if that bottom does wind up holding. Unfortunately, we took some shots on Amazon. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. We went long because it was strong, but it hasn't really given us anything. Really, our loss just stems from this 198 long there. We got out when it broke 198. Then we bought some 197.50s and were able to get some of those out at least. But right now, it is making that downside play. And I still want to go long the name because I like the name there. And if CPI is going to be a little bit better, then maybe we don't have to worry about a weaker consumer right now. I'm going to try one more time here on Amazon against that bottom. And we might have just got taken out at that bottom, 197.25 or so there. So we'll try to get back in right around now at 197.50s as now it starts to get back up. All right, we'll take a little bit here at 60. We just did miss that 50. Maybe we missed a 60 as well, which is fine. Okay, there it is. So we get that. I guess we didn't miss it at all. All right, so 197.50. We'll play off that bottom there. 197.20. If we break that, then we're out. 197.19. The thing is like, I still... Like I know you talked about not having too many shares on that Amazon or on that NVIDIA trade, but the short is definitely right. You know, the plays are coming through right now, and you know, I think it's going to be a little bit about patience. There goes Amazon right there. So again, what I'm talking about with patience is wait for your levels, and then especially if you're long, think about trying to scalp some of them out, because you know the rhetoric has been short for the last couple months, and at least, well, look, we just made highs in February 19th, so I don't even know.
4 weeks.
If, at least for a couple weeks there, yeah. And you know, we could pull down even further than this. I mean, the market's up now.
I love how we sell off for like a month and everyone's like, oh my God, the sky is falling.
I know. Well, I mean, and again, a lot of that is going to be dependent on, you know, where your portfolio lies, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that there's been a sell-off in many of the tech names. Yeah. And most of the indexes are down. I mean, the IWM was down to $200. We could check out what the Russell's doing today as well. That's been something that there's a lot of traders have liked and just hasn't worked out. So yeah, that sucks. All right, we just got a bunch of shares out on Amazon there, so that was nice. Nice move up, man. 197.50. We just got taken out there at 72. So that was a decent out for us as well. Yo, what's up, Randy? Randy, man, this guy's just straight chilling. I need to get Randy's job. I don't know exactly how I do that, but I really like I like that format. Okay, so the TQs making new lows right now. The futures are coming back down into the downside. Yep. Amazon, though, oh boy, Obi, that's actually holding out. So let's take some more profit there on Amazon. Well, a little chicken dinner winner right there, but we need a little more than chicken on this play to make our money back. So we'll hopefully get a steak trade on this one. 198.50 is the 50-period moving average. We'll see if it can hold that. Is it a call for somebody?
Yes.
All right, Sector Watch with Adara at the screen.
Over the last couple of days, I've really been emphasizing, I think it's important to look at which sectors are strong, and overall what color we're seeing on this board, because as you mentioned on Monday, we were down significantly in the market, but there were a lot of green sectors. Yesterday, we were a little bit more mixed, but there were a lot of red sectors. Today, once again, up on the day, but a lot of red sectors here. Consumer non-durables, one of the sectors that fared the best on Monday, selling off aggressively here. Pepsi, Mondelez, especially weak. Health technology, consumer services, even McDonald's, which just made new all-time highs a couple days ago, taking a hit. Utilities, health services, every consumer durables name that isn't Tesla, communications, transportation, I could go on. The really point we're trying to make here is even though the market is up, it's clearly being led by tech names. Other sectors are definitely experiencing some weakness. That being said, retail trade here, Amazon, Costco, both positive. 2 of the 3 Mag 7s in tech services are strong, and Apple continuing to sell off, but Nvidia and Broadcom looking good today, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, we've already. This can go red here, it looks like, right? So I don't know, man. We'll take the TQs and just try to get some out here as it gets into $30, but $60. But yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that, man, that 20,000 on the NASDAQ, now 19.5, 19.8 was the top there.
Yep.
We gave it all back. That CPI number comes in better, but yet still crushes everybody to the downside right now. Oh, boy, we made a decent amount back right now on the TQs. But again, temporary bump maybe there off those lows. So let's start to massage this trade out a little bit here on the futures as we just bought some 60s down there. So we'll see if it can get back up to the upside as we make a little bit back now. Amazon, we still do have that position, but that's getting teetering near closing out. So we'll get some out here in the 60s, maybe in the 70s, as well as the market's trying to battle back a little bit here, Obi. You know, it's been a tough one, but we're still here. You know, we're still breathing and we're still alive. So we'll see if this can come through. Obviously, we'll see if we can come through on a nice little bounce off of some of those lows. There has to be some reprieve somewhere, doesn't there?
Yeah.
Or there doesn't have to be at all. So we'll wait to see there as we go back and forth. Okay, here we go. Getting some more out on the Qs. I'm not embarrassed to say this, but we're now green on the Qs right now on the futures, but it was just because we were catching some of these bottoms, and I don't think that that's necessarily the most responsible way to trade. But again, as long as you have your outs, we talk about that.
Yes.
Have your outs, right? If you have your outs, then you can absorb this. We were going long the TQQs. We punched out when it broke. We waited for 60, a little bit of a bottom there, and then we just took it, and there it goes, man. Positive expectancy on that trade, and there it goes, upside on the TQQs. Amazon, that was a pretty good reload. I'm not going to be super happy with Amazon, though, today, because honestly, this long at 199, 198, that sucked, and we'll be red on Amazon. So we need to let this thing go a little. It's not a revenge trade, but if it's going to come back, like we just went long there. So let's see if it does have a chance to come back into 198. You know, so that's what I'm dealing with. Good couple outs there on the futures, but again, it looks like it's retracing back one more time. So yeah, we'll see where we wind up going right now. But yeah, dangerous times here in the market for sure.
Yeah, absolutely wild
for
here.
longs.
I know a lot of people are talking about this small cap ticker. I'm sure that Sharif is gonna cover this one a little bit there. Bro, have you seen CRVO? Okay, he's talking to Joe right now.
Yeah,
but yeah, look at this crazy action here on Servo Med. Now I don't know what catalyst they had there. Maintained a buy. Okay, so whatever. It's getting some volume. It kind of maybe had some news there on CRVO, but take a look at this crazy action here. Up almost. You know what? Let's take the measurement, not from the open, but where that volume really started coming in here. And look at that. We're getting expanding volume as well. It's currently up almost 110% from where that volume came in. Now, for those of you who want to see how much it's up from the open, 137%. So roughly about 100, 150%. Runner we've got on our hands here, CRVO. What is the float? Is 5.35 million shares. Traders beware. But yeah, no, $5 ticker,
that would be
5 million share float. You probably only need about 25 million notional to kind of
how much?
Chop this around. No.
What do you want me to go? What do you want me to go do?
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. We'll let it trade. We'll let it trade in. Well, I don't know if it's trading in peace, because it seems like shorts are definitely getting a little blasted on this one here.
Shorts are getting
blasted. But yeah, we probably have to borrow these shares as well. But yeah, Tesla coming back down. Kind of again, 250 over under. Great idea, but what is your execution? That's the question, right? Anybody can have great ideas.
Exactly. There we go. This is finally.
There's so many great ideas. But what is the execution? I had the idea. I didn't have a plan. So I didn't trade it. Why? Because there was no execution on it. So if I was like, if I see 250 fail, how do I execute? I'm going to look for the bid to dissipate into 250 and crack the trend and then maybe get short. Maybe we've already traded below 250 and then I want to see sellers come in at 250 and then hold below VWAP and then maybe that's where I'm getting in, or I'm getting in below opening range low. Any sort of whatever execution set you want to put on that. Definitely a good idea. Definitely needs a good execution set there. So what is the trade, the setup, and how you are going to execute on it will make the difference. And CRVO, I was actually watching it for that $5 test because we know $5 is a bit of an important level when it comes to tickers. But it looked like it was false breaking in. And guess what? I'm pretty sure people got in on the false break of that 5, getting absolutely blasted there. Sunray saying CRVO price got an upgrade to $16. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to get to $16 today, but if we are on a bit of a stair-step squeeze on that ticker, I think it's more than possible there. Currently traded 27 million shares, 27 and a half. And again, we talk about the float being 5, so maybe a little bit of float rotation happening on that ticker there. But I like my large caps. I'm going to stick with those. Sure, they still have Fugazi games that are played with them, but maybe more scalable in the long run.
Dude, a breath of fresh air.
I have
Obi.
no idea.
Thank you so much. No. Thank you so much for that talk. I mean, that's the kind of talk that I'm trying to do here every single day, and I appreciate that we're on board with that as well because, it's like we're trying to teach and do at the same time, and it's like we could talk about all these trades, but at the end of the day, you have to be judged by the trades that you take. And I mean, sometimes we take bad trades and we're fully responsible for those. And we talk about those all of the time on the show. It's how do you come back from that? It's what do you do next, right? I mean, that's why I keep asking people. People never ask, so it doesn't matter. But, I'll say, am I green or am I red on the day? I think that's one of the most important things to know for a trader because we don't disclose share size or anything like that. But how have your ideas been working? Are you green or are you red on the day? Like, it doesn't matter if Obi's up or down $500 today. Are you green? Are you red? How's your ideas worked? Are you, are your pending positions? What are they looking like? That's why we have that at the bottom, and it's just like, it's one of those things. Why is QBTS halted? Is it? Quickly, yes. So D-Wave right there, Adara. I'm going to check the chart. Do we have a move? No, we do not have a big move on D-Wave. So Adara, if there is any news on QBTS, right now it is halted without any dramatic move. So thank you so much for bringing that one up in the chat for us as well. All right, back over to the TQs, right? And this is what I mean, put up or shut up. We're long at 14s. We've just been scalping the what out of this. Look at all of these out. We were just like, yes, because it went up. We got that 50 fill. So we did get a good fill there. So, starting to bleed a little bit down. Obviously, this market, we just took another fill right there at 28s. Look how this market's bleeding down. I feel irresponsible. There we go. We just got out of Amazon. I feel irresponsible for not scalping out some of these longs. So we're going to do that. We're now flipping up our game. One more position. That's it. If the Qs go, fine. If not, it's regroup nation right now. I mean, it's definitely a short. We've been trying to push the long, thinking that this would eventually bounce. It has not even come close to bouncing. The only time we bounced was a couple times here at 19.6. And that makes sense to me on the futures where we bounced. We bounced right at pre-CPI levels. The minute, honestly, and again, right, good talk coming, but doesn't mean I don't have the trade. Breaking that level right here, breaking that pre-CPI level right there. I don't care about all this stuff here. That's pre-market lows. That makes sense. But when we have big economic numbers, we have one coming tomorrow with PPI. Let's see. You won't be here, but let's see if I can, look at that level tomorrow as well. Where are we when we break below that number level? Just straight to the downside now. Lots of tariff talks today, lots of frustrating longs for sure, but the short is what's really printing here today. So great trade there for Obi. Let's see if we can hold out hope that this eventually does bounce here. No more outs for the TQs, guys. We have one in the high 30s, which if that can come out great, my next offer is 55s, and then we'll go long off of that and see if we can work. So, all right, Adara, it's time for Money Talks. Let's see if we can get, some news here on some of the Forex.
It looks like we might actually be forming our first green candle here for the DXY after a 7-day sell-off. So all of last week here, every single day, red for the DXY. Yesterday and Monday, both also red. Today, though, trying to be green, but not the most bullish-looking candle here, bit of a topping tail candle as we try to hold the support at 103.50. Of course, the biggest catalyst of the day by far from an economic data standpoint and just from the market in general was going to be the CPI print we got at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. CPI year over year 2.8% versus 2.9% expected. CPI month over month 0.2% versus 0.3% expected. Core CPI year over year 3.1 versus 3.2. Core CPI month over month 0.2% versus 0.3% expected. So all of these prints coming in just 0.1% below expectations, the market responding very positively to that. We also have some comments right now coming from the Bank of Canada's Governor Tiff Macklem, and these comments are not super positive. He's saying that they think Q1 domestic demand will be, quote, very weak for Canada, and that they will do as much as they can to help the economy adjust to U.S. tariffs. So not a great look here coming out of the BOC governor. Keep an eye on the CAD. Also, QBTS, I think it's worth keeping an eye on here. As mentioned, this one seemed to be halted with no catalyst. I can't find a catalyst. There's very little social media attention on this other than, hey, why did QBTS halt? But we did have a headline coming for this one this morning around midnight, 2 a.m. It's a press release just about how their new qubits are driving their supremacy milestone in their landmark scientific breakthrough. This is just a PR release from QBTS, and it is worth noting here, this one is about a 21% short float, and they report earnings before the bell. We know CleanSpark did something similar to, I believe, last year, where they had an unexplained halt. Not sure why this is halting. If I find anything out, I will let you guys know promptly. Back to you.
It's the size and the stop that they take.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Exactly.
Dara, for that. We're just some
Anyways, I really
appreciate.
I appreciate you having you being here because we don't have these talks all the time, right? So thanks, Obi, for all of that. All right. Look,
we got to pump these numbers up.
What are those numbers at? You pumped them up.
Come on, like there's 8,500 people watching right now.
8,500.
8,500. Like we got to have at least
futures.
a 50%, you know, base case 50%, 50% win rate. Yeah, no, yeah. Let's throw up those likes right there. There you go. I participated as well. I liked, and I'm already subscribed. So there you go, guys. Make sure you like and
hit it for
subscribe.
Adara. Adara's been, forget about us. Hit it for Adara. Adara's been having the huge stories today. Thanks, Adara, for all that.
Thank you, Adara.
The watch list, all that kind of stuff developed again. You can hit it for Ramin too if you want.
Yes.
Why not?
Oh, come on.
Nice color on your sweater. We're kind of trying to match.
Oh, yeah, you guys match. Yeah.
Me and Ramin.
Ramin and I were matching a couple days ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I had the tracksuit on. Yeah, we had the shirts. We had the shirts. Yeah. I remember.
What are we even doing? Okay, so we just exactly. We just talked about. Look at that. Can you take a look at that? We talked about putting our order at $60.55. We talked about having an order there, so there it is. It does fill up. We still have half of this TQ position, and my next order is right here at $60.90. So if that hits, great on that one. And we're just hoping that it does hit. All right, so just getting some orders in now for some positions. We got stopped out of Amazon. It is bouncing. I mean, maybe we should have used 197, but at some point, it's like you got to stop out. We used 197.25. That seems to have been a mistake, but we're going to smile now because when I smile, you smile, we smile. That is, of course, shout out to Justin Bieber. But again, Justin Bieber, you know?
Yeah. Baby.
You ever heard Tate McRae or?
Oh, I forgot last night, and
I know we talked about it. Okay, don't worry
I looked her up this morning. I was like, I didn't hear the music. I saw some of the music videos.
You don't need to hear the music. Okay, so we did. There it is, man. There's our fill right there. We talked about sitting there at this. Oh, wait a second. That was 60.75. My bad. I must have had an order at 60.75. I didn't even see that. My next order is at 60.90. So I do have an order there. Unless I went on the wrong stock, but I didn't realize I had well, that would make sense that I had an order there. So my bad. We did get some out there. It doesn't look like 75. I'll give you the exact number. 73s. So, all right. I did have an order there. That would make sense. Sorry about that. My bigger order is at 60.90. So if we can get that out, that would be good. We just got it. That was only a 5% out. So the next one's 20%. I'm waiting for up here at the 50 period for 20% of our position to get out on the futures. So we actually have something I want to do, and it's
Ooh, what's for lunch?
Yeah, we had a little beef stir fry the last couple of days. It was kind of like back-to-back beef stir fries,
Was it beef?
which is, yeah, it was a little beefy. So today, though, we go a little bit different. It's a Thai dish, but it's pad krapow. Pad krapow. Thai, and then in brackets, me you can see, Thai chicken with basil stir fry.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
It's not bad. With steamed jasmine rice, vegetable stir fry, and a Thai cabbage salad. So Thai chicken basil stir fry with rice and side veg. That is what's
For lunch.
for lunch. So we'll have that. They're here really early, so they're probably even here now.
Yeah.
As they drop that up. That's kind of like maybe like a pack.
Did you know? This morning, the caterer came in a Tesla. Remember? Sharif this morning. Yeah.
Model.
So I walk in, and I'm
What
like,
model?
there's a Tesla stand like just parked right by the door, and I'm like, who's parking here? There has to be somebody who's in
I've
here.
seen the Kate.
And then I come in, and then I'm like, all right, nobody's here. It might be somebody else's. People use that as a parking spot sometimes. And then I see the guy. It was a different guy today as well. So I see the guy. He's rolling out with the cart, and I'm like, there's no way. Usually the caterer comes in like the.
We just got more
van,
futures.
The big van, right?
Right.
And then
That's yeah.
I take a look. He's packing up the back of the Tesla.
It's a branded van.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh boy, these caterers making a good amount of money.
Why Teslas aren't that expensive, my guy? I mean, what model was it?
I think it was a Y.
A Y? I mean, that is the most sold car worldwide.
Okay.
So let's not try to be too surprised that there were guys rolling around in that. But
I mean, Tesla very versatile apparently.
yes, yeah. Apparently they have a trunk, and they have, what do they call them in the front?
The front.
Duh.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, let me ask
Front
you
for
this:
the back.
was he putting in stuff into the frunk?
No, he was putting it in the trunk. Yeah.
All right, Obi. So thanks for the update on our caterers' driving preferences. So, but yeah, we're driving to the downside right now. What's up, Ramin? Nothing. Okay. Not that eventful there. I thought maybe something was up. All right. So, yeah, the futures. We're on those right now. We're right back into here. 19,500. That's what we're trying right here. 19,500. It's Obi. This is now 3 straight strong, 4 straight. If we close, 4 straight strong candles to the downside.
Yes.
So it's definitely not looking very good. I do hear Sharif in my ear right now.
I hear
Andre or
myself
somebody.
as well.
We all hear ourselves in our ear, so we will get that away. We're long right now, man. $60.12 here on the TQQs with a stop just underneath this level. So if we break through 60, man, that's that 19.5. We've just broke it. We'll give it a couple handles to see if it wants to dance. Wow, big size. We don't see that normally. 60,000 shares. I don't think it's gonna. No, this is on the futures on TQs. I don't see that much very often, but there it goes. It goes away real fast. 60. I was going to say 60 million shares. There it is, big size right there. But this market is getting hit to the downside. So get ready for liquidation for me. There it is right now. Bye-bye. That's the end of that trade. The futures go boom to the downside. Take out that 19.5. Maybe worth a reload spot right here, but this could be just one of those levels again where we'll try the short. We talk about when it breaks. We want to look at it for continuation. So there's 19.5 finally breaking down. I mean, if you're going to look at it on a daily chart, there's not going to be too much support now. That level right there on the TQ is 56. I mean, come on. We wicked down there the last couple of days, 57. So we're only at 60 now. So there is some downside pressure coming. I mean, look at this. You take a look at that. Huge fall down. The TQs, because it's triple levered, we were $90, Obi. This is what happens when you have that exposure there. We were $90 back in Feb 20th. So now down to 60. So really crushed. They're half of the value taken away here on the triple levered, which makes sense. NASDAQ being down like 15 or 16%. I don't know what it is if we include today as we're still up. But yeah, downside pressure there. We'll flip over to the short and see if this works out for us for a minute. But it's 11 o'clock. Anything you want to say quickly? I mean, I know, is there a target for NVIDIA or no? Is there a stop? Why don't we worry about
Is there? I mean, I do have my stop. My stop is already in.
Okay.
But that's near day highs.
Well, why don't you tell people where it
kind
is
of-
just in
that's kind
case they're trying to trail it?
In case somebody's going to try and come and hit my stop, sure. My stop
No, but
is
okay, the thing is, we should say it's what do you have, 10% left?
116.59. I have an insignificant amount
Okay.
left, less than 10%.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I've already said that multiple times before. I didn't
you
even
have.
take the size that I should be, but taking the reps that I should be.
Yeah, and it's not so people would
Meaningful
run your
practice
stop.
is what-
It's just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
this is
go
such
for
a
it.
great trade. I didn't know if you had a trail.
No,
I know Neil will
the
trail
like a
50
trail
cents.
stop
Right.
is what you
like if there was.
Okay, so
if the futures turned around, we got to go because they're waiting. But if the futures
if
turned
the
around,
futures turn around, I think my stop would be a prior bar break on the spider.
okay, so
Because if you look at the 15-minute chart on the
Perfect.
spider, absolutely beautiful downtrend on Intel, by the way, as well, breaking through day low.
Yeah, we're trying to see if these futures are gonna go.
missed that trade, but SPY. Let's take a quick look at the 15-minute before we pass it off.
You take a look at that?
Boys, there, you can see boom, 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 straight.
Here go the
down.
futures
So unless and
finally.
until
Oh, boy,
the
here we
spider
go.
itself can kind of catch a bid, or the Nasdaq, one or the other. I think that's where it is. Or again, or it can come and hit my stop. Nvidia can choose to trade sideways while the futures do
Sure
whatever.
can. All right, thanks, Obi, man. Another great day. If those of you are wondering if Obi's coming back, he's coming back at 2 o'clock, and then he's gone for a couple days. So make sure you do join us back there. Oh boy, reverting the futures right here is turning out okay. We're now 20 handles or so in on the short finally, so that's working out. We finally went short right at 11 o'clock. How about that? Okay, all right, back over to the midday, man. These guys have been killing it over and over again. More small caps, most likely, but yeah, Bitcoin, major names, anything they want. This is dealer's choice, baby, as this market gets to the downside. Thanks, Obi. It's Sharif. Let's go futures as they're making new lows right now. Now I can get excited about the short finally because we in it, baby. All right, Sharif, let's go. It's 11:02. Ciao, it's Midday Madness.
Wow, look at that.
Boom! There you boys get ready. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the